I regret being the female CEO's lover for 3 years. Obviously, she's just tired of me. The most disgraceful thing I've ever done is to be Shen Zhinian's personal secretary and lover for 3 years. I gave everything, and yet she simply said she was bored and replaced me with a younger, more vibrant little puppy. She even banished me to the far corner. And to pay for my mother's medical bills, I still had to grovel to her. But what she didn't know was that the contract binding me was about to expire in 1 month. Once I walk away, the top actress will chase me, my rival will send me performance bonuses, and the richest man's father will leave me a fortune before he dies. When I meet Shen Zhinian again, she'll be holding a wine glass, looking down at me with an arrogant pose, saying, "Still not over me," and came crawling back. I smile faintly. I'm the host of this party, but I don't think I invited you. Shen Zhinian? The room is dimly lit, and 2 figures are intertwined on the bed. I pull Shen Zhinian's neck in for a heated kiss with one hand, while the other roams her body, dragging her into passion. After our heated affair, Shen Zhinian kicks me in the waist, throwing a pillow at me. "Get down." Every time we're done, Shen Zhinian never lets me sleep in the bed. Instead, I'm made to sleep on the floor beside it. After 3 years, I've long gotten used to it. I silently take the pillow, pull out another blanket from the closet, and skillfully spread it on the floor. Just as I'm about to lie down, Shen Zhinian's sleepy voice suddenly rings out. "By the way, tomorrow President Wu from the Wu Group will be here to discuss the collaboration. Make sure to entertain him well. If you offend him, you know the consequences." I pause in surprise, my grip on the blanket tightening. Wu Lue from the Wu Group is notoriously difficult to deal with. She is not only temperamental, but any man with even a bit of good looks is her target. Her affairs in bed are well known in the industry. She has particular tastes, and those who end up in her bed rarely come out unscathed. But what concerns me is not that. It's Shen Zhinian's attitude. The Wu Group's collaboration has always been handled by someone else. Now, she is pushing me into this, clearly tired of me and preparing to pass me off to someone else. To put it nicely, she is asking me to handle the collaboration, but in reality, she just wants to sell me off and squeeze out the last bit of value. Wu Lue has money to spare, and if she takes an interest in me, this deal will bring huge profits to the company. Shen Zhinian's boredom with me has been evident for a while. She has even already started keeping a new little boy toy, and told me to specifically bring him along. His name is Xian, fresh out of college, young, good-looking, full of energy, just like I was when I first started. I knew it would happen eventually, someone would take my place, but I didn't expect it to come so soon. I sigh softly and ask, "Can't someone else go? Like Xian?" After all, this project isn't crucial. He has been under me for so long and hasn't handled a project on his own. This is the perfect opportunity for him to get some experience. After she says this, Shen Zhinian suddenly sits up in bed, her voice snapping awake as she looks down at me. "Lu Huichuan, you know what kind of person Wu Lue is, yet you're pushing Xian out there. What is your game?" I feel a bitter pang in my chest. She knows, yet still chooses to push me out. Shen Zhinian's voice is cold as she warns me, "Don't blame me for not warning you. Do your job well, and don't mess with Xian. He is pure and bright, not like you, someone with such dark and malicious thoughts. If I find out you're targeting him, you can pack your things and leave." I numbly reply, "Understood, Miss Shen." The room falls silent again, and I close my eyes, the pain in my chest growing more intense. I only have myself to blame. I'm such a fool, falling for my sugar mama. I knew she didn't care about me, that I was just a warm bed for her, but I couldn't stop myself from falling deeper. It doesn't matter, though my contract ends in a month. Once the time is up, I'll leave Shen's company, and this unrequited love will fade away with time. I was a top student at Tsinghua University. I was meant to have a bright future. But the year I graduated, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. Chapter 2, Secretary Lu, you're a smart man. To earn money for my mother's treatment, I work during the day at the office and sell alcohol at a nightclub at night. The tips I make in one night at the club are worth more than several days' salary at my regular job, but they are still just a drop in the bucket compared to my mother's medical expenses. I shuttle between the company, the club, and the hospital, sometimes barely getting by. One night, distracted while serving drinks, I spilled some alcohol, and a customer made a scene about it. It was Shen Zhinian who stepped in to help me. She saved me, and I fell for her at first sight. So, when she took an interest in my looks, threw me a contract, and asked me to be her lover for 3 years, I agreed without hesitation. From then on, I stayed by Shen Zhinian's side, ready to serve her 24/7. I became her personal secretary, helping her with work in many ways. Truth be told, I knew Shen Zhinian had been fickle in her school days, but for these 3 years, I thought she only had me. Though she never gave me any official status, I believed she had some feelings for me. However, now I'm awake. She has been treating me like a plaything. As scheduled, I arrived at the private room. Wu Lue had arrived a few minutes earlier. She had been waiting impatiently, but when she saw me, her eyes lit up, and her impatience transformed into a smile. She ordered 3 drinks, then said with a smile, "Secretary Lu, you're late. You'll have to drink 3 cups as punishment." After spending 3 years with Shen Zhinian, I've seen all kinds of demons and monsters. I've learned to handle situations with ease. I responded, "It's indeed my fault. I accept the punishment." Without hesitation, I downed the 3 drinks, and when I put the glass down, Wu Lue immediately sat next to me. She personally poured me another drink, saying, "Secretary Lu really has a strong tolerance. Let us have another." As she handed me the glass, her body leaned toward mine. I instinctively pulled back, but the wine spilled over her chest. The red wine quickly spread across her white dress, outlining the shape of her undergarments. Wu Lue exclaimed, "Oh no, how could you be so clumsy? Now my clothes are all wet." I stood up, softly apologizing, "Sorry." Wu Lue also stood up, "What is the use of apologizing now? Don't you want to take me to change? I'll call someone to help." I was about to call a waiter, but Wu Lue beat me to it and grabbed my tie. She stared at me, "Don't bother with waiters. You're the one who made the mess, so you should be the one to clean it." "What, Secretary Lu, are you trying to avoid responsibility? Come on, I have a room upstairs. Let us go." I stayed frozen in place, hesitating about whether or not to follow her. Everyone knows what it means to enter the same room as her. Wu Lue stood at the door, watching me with an almost threatening tone. "Secretary Lu, don't you want to secure the collaboration?" I snapped back to reality, thought for 2 seconds, and ultimately followed her. This was something Shen Zhinian had assigned to me. I had to do it well, or else she'd make a big fuss over this collaboration. I entered the room with Wu Lue, and as soon as the door closed, before I could react, she pushed me onto the bed and climbed on top, aiming to kiss me. I quickly turned my head, and her kiss landed on my neck, the warm touch making me feel nauseous. Wu Lue frowned in displeasure, grabbing my chin and forcing me to turn my head. She said bluntly, "Secretary Lu, you're a smart man. You should know what I want without me having to explain it. You seem so refined, I don't want to be too rough with you." Chapter 3, Looking at me like I'm trash. Wu Lue's finger traced my face as she smiled. "Today, I'm making an exception. You don't need to bother with those things. You can relax and play with me." As she spoke, her finger slid downward. Quick as a flash, I grabbed her hand that was heading for my belt and calmly said, "President Wu, how about we make a deal?" Wu Lue raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What kind of deal?" "You let me go, and I can offer a 10% discount on this collaboration." This was a strategy 1D planned before I arrived, or else I wouldn't have ended up here. Since I dared to stand here, it meant I had a plan to leave unscathed. Wu Lue eyed me skeptically. "A little secretary like you can make that kind of decision." I smirked, confidently responding, "I'm President Shen's trusted assistant. Making a few tweaks to a contract is nothing for me. You don't need to worry about that, President Wu." Wu Lue scoffed. "As you said, you're President Shen's trusted assistant. I don't believe you'd help me out against her. Why don't you just submit to me? If you serve me well tonight, I won't treat you badly." I suddenly spoke up, "If it weren't for Shen Zhinian, I wouldn't be here. This collaboration wasn't even my responsibility, but she pushed me into it. President Wu, people will do anything to protect themselves. It's no fun forcing it. If you really want, I can pick a few young ones for you to have fun with instead." Wu Lue stared at me for a while, then suddenly laughed. "Interesting. Shen Zhinian is really a fool. She picked up such a treasure like you and doesn't know how to appreciate it." She then got off me and said directly, "Where's the contract?" I quickly rolled out of bed, grabbed the contract I had prepared earlier, and handed it to her. After reviewing it and confirming everything was fine, Wu Lue signed it without hesitation. I took the contract from her, feeling a sense of relief, and smiled. President Wu, it's a pleasure to cooperate. Wu Lue didn't respond. Instead, she suddenly leaned toward me and grabbed my tie, preventing me from backing away. She kissed my neck again and teased, when Shen Zhinian no longer wants you, come find me. I won't treat you badly. I held back my disgust, forcing a smile. Thank you, President Wu, for your favor. Having gotten what she wanted, Wu Lue didn't bother me any further. She didn't need me to find any young men for her at the club and let me go. I quickly exited the hotel, the discomfort from before gradually fading away. At the hotel entrance, a bright red car stood out, and seeing the license plate number, I froze for a moment, an overwhelming sense of joy washing over me. There could be no other reason for Shen Zhinian to be here other than to pick me up. I'm her secretary, so I know her schedule inside out. She has no social engagements tonight. The only reason she'd be here is because of me. The earlier discomfort vanished instantly, and I couldn't help but smile slightly as I hurried toward the car. I got in the car and handed the signed contract to Shen Zhinian. President Shen, the collaboration is finalized. Shen Zhinian turned her head to look at me, and her gaze suddenly changed. She reached out and grabbed my shirt collar. Lu Huichuan, did you really sleep with her? I looked down and realized there were 2 bright red lipstick marks on my collar, quite suggestive. Remembering how Wu Lue had kissed my neck twice, I hurriedly explained, no, we just. Before I could finish, Shen Zhinian pushed me away and slapped the contract out of my hand. Her eyes were cold and full of disgust, like she was looking at trash. I thought you had some skills to secure the collaboration so quickly, but it turns out you're no different from those people. Is it nice, the collaboration you got with your body? Chapter for this ring is mine, take it off. My hands clenched in vain at my sides. It was she who pushed me out. It was also she who allowed Wu Lue to take me away without caring whether I lived or died. Now, I have managed to escape the disaster myself. I have to face her humiliation when I come back. Even if I have served her diligently for 3 years and she has no love for me, she should still care about me even if we are just ordinary friends, right? As my heart ached, Shen Zhinian's ridicule continued. Wu Lue didn't ask you to stay overnight. What's the matter? You didn't win her heart because of your poor skills. Do you want me to find some young masters to teach you how to serve a woman? Shen Zhinian's words were like knives, stabbing straight into my heart, and my heart was immediately covered in blood. My breathing stagnated, and as I looked at the contract at my feet, bitterness spread from my throat. I opened my mouth, trying to explain, Boss Shen, Lu Huichuan, you really make me sick. Shen Zhinian threw another sentence at me, leaving me completely speechless. Shen Zhinian took out his cell phone and called Xian in front of me, Xiaoan, wait for me at Chenjing Villa tonight. A dissatisfied voice came from the other end, you still have to go to work tomorrow, don't go too far tonight. Shen Zhinian said in a doting tone, don't worry, I won't let you get up. She hung up the phone and looked at me with a frown, why are you still here? Get out of here and don't dirty my car. I endured the piercing pain, lowered my eyes, picked up the contract, and got out of the car without saying a word. As soon as I got out of the car, another car rushed out and almost knocked me down. I looked at the car driving away, and repeatedly reminded myself in my heart that I was nothing to Shen Zhinian. She is a high-ranking female president, and I am just a little secretary that can be bought with money and a bed-warming tool. I closed my eyes, swallowed the bitterness, clenched the contract, and slowly exhaled. Fortunately, I still have a month to escape from this kind of life. I took a taxi back home, and as soon as I entered the door, I went straight to the bathroom and scrubbed vigorously the place where Wu Lue had just kissed me. I am a germaphobe. If they are not the person I have chosen, I will never have sex with them no matter what. It will only make me feel disgusted. Unfortunately, Shen Zhinian didn't know. In fact, even if she knew, she would only believe what she wanted to believe. I rubbed my skin almost to pieces before I stopped. After drying my hair, I lay down on the bed. I was extremely tired both physically and mentally, but I couldn't fall asleep even though I tossed and turned. I only slept for 3 hours before the alarm went off. I packed up quickly and prepared for work as usual, and just as I left the house, I received a call from Shen Zhinian. Her voice was filled with sleepiness, come to Chenjing Villa to pick me and Xian up. I want to see you in half an hour. After saying that, she hung up the phone. Picking them up is part of my job, and I have no right to refuse. Half an hour later, I showed up at Chenjing Villa on time. Xian came out of the master bedroom with a rosy face, and I noticed at a glance that he was wearing a sterling silver ring on the middle finger of his left hand. He raised his hand, shook the smile on his hand, and gave me a provocative smile. I put it in the bedside table when I took a shower last time and forgot to take it out. Although that ring is not worth much, it has special meaning to me. That was during my first year with Shen Zhinian. When she and I went on a business trip and went shopping, she personally picked it out for me and put it on me. She put it on my ring finger and joked, "Does it look like I'm proposing to you?" I nodded, wanting really to tell her that I did. But I knew very well that it was just a joke, and I also knew that we were from two different worlds, so I could never say, "I do." The ring refracted the light and flashed in my eyes. I came to my senses, a hint of anger rose in my heart, and I quickly walked up to Xian. "This ring is mine, take it off. You are a college graduate after all. Don't you know that taking someone else's things without their permission is stealing?" I had been wearing this ring before, and everyone in the office knew about it. Xian had been working under me for several months, so there was no way he didn't know about it. He knew that the things were mine, but he still put them on his wrist. Isn't this stealing? Chapter 5, Using my weakness to threaten me. Xian frowned unhappily. "Isn't it just a ring? Lend it to me and I'll return it to you later." The veins on my forehead were throbbing. I suppressed my anger, stretched out my hand, and said it again. "I don't want to borrow it, take it down and give it back to me." At this time, Shen Zhinian came out of the room, glanced at the ring on Xian's hand, and said, "He's just curious. Be generous and let him wear it for a few days. It's not worth much anyway." Shen Zhinian seemed to have long forgotten that this ring was given to me by her, or maybe she remembered, but in her eyes, it was just a cheap item. No matter how valuable the item is, as long as Xian wants it, she will definitely give it to him. Who said Xian is the apple of her eye now? But how she pampers Xian is her business, and she must never use my things to please him. I said coldly, "Since I said it's worthless, why did he still take it? Has he never even seen $100? I turned to look at Xian with cold eyes. "I'll say it again, take it down." Shen Zhinian frowned and stood in front of Xian, as if to protect him. "Lu Huichuan, are you done yet? Isn't it just a broken ring? Are you trying to take advantage of this to make things difficult for Xiaoan? I'm still here. When will it be your turn to act wild?" "What? My words are useless now? How dare you provoke me like this? If you keep acting like a shrew, I'll cut off your supply of Achilles injections. This medicine is the most effective medicine for treating my mother's disease. It costs millions for one injection. If it is out of stock, my mother will not live long." As I listened to her threats, I felt as cold as if I had fallen into an ice cellar. I was clearly the victim, and it was Xian who took my things without permission, but Shen Zhinian protected him without a word, and even used my weakness to threaten me. She knows very well that my mother is the most important relative to me in this world. I stood there in a daze, half-lidded my eyes, trying to suppress the emotions in my eyes. "It's just a ring, Mr. Shen, there's no need for you to make such a fuss with Secretary Lu because of me. After all, it was indeed my fault. I shouldn't have taken his things without permission. Since he won't lend it, then just give it back to him." Xian said, walked to my side, took off the ring and said, "Secretary Lu, I'll give it back to you." He didn't put it in my hand, but threw it directly into my palm. The ring brushed past my palm and fell to the ground with a dull sound. It rolled along the floor and stopped at my feet. I looked down at the ring, quickly calmed myself, squatted down calmly, and picked it up. I subconsciously put the ring on my ring finger, then looked at Shen Zhinian and reminded him in a deep voice, "Boss Shen, it's almost time to go to work, it's time to leave." I handed her the breakfast I bought on the way here. "This is breakfast for you." If it were in the past, I would compete with the man Shen Zhinian was interested in, use all means to force him away, or even quarrel with Shen Zhinian. I love her, so I also want to fight for a status for myself. Even if I am just a lover, she can only have me by her side. Shen Zhinian would argue with me at first, asking me not to be unreasonable. Later he just ignored me until I admitted my mistake. Because I can't bear to leave her. If possible, I would like to stick with her 24 hours a day. Shen Zhinian knew that I would bow my head, so no matter how much I quarreled and made a fuss later, she just looked at me calmly, making me look like a madman. Chapter 6. Once again, I endured it. I bowed my head too many times, and Shen Zhinian no longer considered my feelings. After all, whoever falls in love first loses, and I am the one who loses everything. Shen Zhinian has been consuming my love without giving me any response. This time it was the last straw that finally crushed my love and I completely gave up. Although I still feel heartbroken, I have made up my mind to leave. You just need to endure for 20 more days, and it will be over. Thinking of this, I became calmer, as if I was not the angry person just now. Shen Zhinian looked at how I quickly calmed down, her brows furrowed even more, anger flashed in her eyes, and she raised her hand to knock the breakfast out of my hand. I didn't say I wanted to have breakfast, who asked you to buy it? You're just being conceited. After Shen Zhinian vented his anger, he stormed out, and Xian quickly followed him out. I looked at the spilled coffee and bread, sighed, squatted down to clean them up, washed my hands and followed. When I arrived at the company, I gave Xian several reports that needed to be checked and sorted, and asked him to sort them out for me before leaving get off work. Xian took it and rarely complained about the large number of documents. Instead, he smiled and said, "Don't worry, Secretary Lu, I will definitely finish it on time." I glanced at him and didn't think much about it. It was not until I was about to get off work that I realized that the data he had compiled was wrong. I went straight to him with the documents and threw them on his desk. Our pop sound stopped him from packing up and leaving work. Xian looked up at me innocently. "Secretary Lu, what's wrong?" I flipped open the file and pointed to the first page where there were several obvious errors in the data. "Xian, you have been with me for 3 months, right? How could you make such a simple mistake? Stay and work overtime, and finish all the documents before leaving get off work." Fortunately, I paid close attention and took a few more glances at it. Otherwise, if these data were submitted and the project department implemented them, the company would have no idea how much money it would have lost. Xian stood up and looked at me a little aggrieved. "But I have an appointment with Mr. Shen tonight, Secretary Lu, can you help me change it?" "I'm Mr. Shen's secretary, not your secretary." My tone suddenly turned cold. "I have no obligation to help you. You have to clean up the mess you made yourself. So you also know that you are just a secretary." Shen Zhinian's voice suddenly sounded behind me. When I heard that, my expression froze, and I turned slowly and looked at Shen Zhinian. I tried to hold back my anger and spoke in a calm tone, "Boss Shen." Shen Zhinian walked over, casually picked up the top file, glanced at it, and then threw it directly at me. "I asked Xiaowen to learn from you, not for you to bully him like this." I reached out to catch the document she threw at me, pursed my lips and said nothing. "I just asked Xiaowen to take care of his job. How can this be considered bullying?" Seeing that I didn't answer, Shen Zhinian frowned and ordered me coldly, "Xiaowen has to accompany me to dinner, you stay and help him deal with the documents, you are not allowed to leave work until you finish it." I closed my eyes, ignored the gazes of people watching the excitement, and responded calmly, "Okay, Mr. Shen. Anyway, I have already cleaned up Xian's mess many times before, so this time won't be a big deal. I can't wipe it a few more times, I can bear it." Xian smiled and walked forward to hug Shen Zhinian's waist, and acted coquettishly to her. "Boss Shen, you are so nice." Shen Zhinian's tone was doting. "If I don't treat you well, who else can I treat well?" Chapter 7. I was asked to carry Xian's sedan chair. Shen Zhinian glanced at me, and in front of everyone, he left with Xian. The two of them flirted as they entered the elevator, being extremely high profile. Most people in the company knew that the position next to Shen Zhinian was mine. But now I only hear the laughter of new people, but not the crying of old people, and the way they look at me is full of sympathy and pity. In fact, there is no need to worry. I have already gotten used to it. I haven't been here long anyway, and my heart doesn't seem to hurt as much as it did at the beginning. I was busy until late at night before I got home, and even for dinner I had to just have a quick bite at a small restaurant on the side of the road. I went back, took a shower, and lay down. I slept for less than 4 hours before it was time to go to work. I dragged my tired body to the company, but before I sat down, Shen Zhinian called me to the office, where Xian was also. When he saw me, there was a hint of obvious pride in his eyes. I ignored him and looked directly at Shen Zhinian, waiting for her to speak. Shen Zhinian leaned back in his office chair and said, "From today on, Xian will be in charge of the project at the downtown amusement park. You were the one who followed him before, so you will be his assistant." What? I was stunned. The city center amusement park project is one of the company's most important projects. It has now been fully completed, with only equipment testing and investment promotion in the venue left. Let me ask you, who can hand over a project that they have been following for more than a year to someone else? It would be fine if he gave it to someone who is capable, but he had to give it to someone who couldn't even check a few data. It was obvious that Shen Zhinian was just trying to help Xian. She wanted everyone in the company to know that Xian's position was now higher than mine. I am someone who can be kicked out at any time. I frowned, but this project. But what? Shen Zhinian's expression suddenly turned cold, and he stared at me, warning me with his eyes. I opened my mouth, wanting to say that Xian didn't have that ability, but Xian was so good at blowing pillow talk, how could Shen Zhinian listen to me? What's more, I will be leaving in less than a month, so whether this project makes money or not has nothing to do with me anymore. At times like this, it is better to do less than more. My hands hanging by my side clenched and unclenched, and I compromised. Okay, I get it. Xian walked up to me and smiled hypocritically. Secretary Lu, I'd like you to tell me more about this project during today's inspection. I'm not very familiar with it. The amusement park was completed today and officially entered the equipment debugging stage, so I have to go to the site for an inspection today. I nodded indifferently. Yes, if you don't understand, just ask me directly. The moment I stepped out of the president's office, every team member was informed of the replacement of the project team leader. When we gathered together in the afternoon to inspect the amusement park, they looked at me with some sadness. I pretended not to see and set off with them. After arriving at the amusement park, I asked Xian to look at the project book while I explained to him the next stage of the project planning. Xian was not a patient man, and he became a little impatient after listening for a while. When he saw the Ferris wheel, his eyes lit up. He threw the document to the person next to him and ran to the control room. There was a technician debugging the equipment inside. Xian pointed at the buttons and asked, "How do I use these? Can you teach me?" The master knew that we came from the company headquarters and that in his eyes we were all leaders, so he began to explain things to him enthusiastically. When Xian heard the master say that someone would be asked to do the test again, he immediately pointed at me and said, "Secretary Lu, you go up." Chapter 8, Confusion of Right and Wrong, Dirty My Ears. After all, you have been in charge of this project before. It is a project that you personally supervised. It makes more sense for you to be the first to try it out, doesn't it? Xian looked at me with a smile, as if he was afraid that I would refuse. In fact, even if he didn't say it, I would have gone up. This is the process. I nodded and asked the master when I could go. The master said it was possible now, so I gave the things to the person next to me and walked towards the Ferris wheel. I had just stepped onto the Ferris wheel cabin and hadn't even gotten in when I suddenly heard Xian's voice, "I'll be in control, don't interfere." Suddenly, the car under my feet started to move, and my second foot just stepped on the edge. The machine started suddenly, and I was carried backwards by inertia. My body became unstable and I fell directly out of the car. The car was some distance from the ground, and I fell heavily to the ground, in so much pain that I couldn't stand up for a while. There was a cut on my forehead, and blood kept flowing down. I covered it with my hand, but the blood flowed directly through the gaps between my fingers and down my arm. There was a scream nearby, and several project members and the person in charge of the amusement park ran over to check on my injuries. "Quick, quick, get a clean towel and cover the wound." "No, the wound is too big and the bleeding can't be stopped." "Car, prepare the car, go to the hospital." There was a chaotic sound all around me, but I was in so much pain from my wound that I could hardly hear what they were arguing about. By the time I came to my senses, I was already in the hospital. The wound ran from my hairline to my brow bone, almost reaching my eye. The doctor gave me more than a dozen stitches and said there would be a scar. I don't really care about scars, as long as my eyes aren't hurt. After treating the wound, I did a full body checkup. While I was waiting for the results, Xian came over and apologized to me hypocritically. "I'm sorry, Secretary Lu, I was just too excited at the time and pressed the button accidentally. I really didn't mean it, don't be angry." I glanced at him coldly and warned him, "Xian, put away your little thoughts. Don't think I don't know what you are thinking. Stop pretending to apologize here, it's annoying, get out." Those colleagues all knew what kind of person Xian was, and they also knew that we couldn't get along with him, so they followed suit and persuaded Xian to leave first. Xian said a few polite words in a fake manner before leaving. My test results came out, Nothing serious, I just need to get some anti-inflammatory water. While my colleague was taking the medicine to the pharmacy to pay the bill, I went to the restroom. In the cubicle, I heard Xian's voice, feeling very aggrieved. Boss Shen, Secretary Lu did it on purpose. I clearly watched him enter the car before starting the machine. I don't know why he still fell down. Yes, I understand. Xian finished speaking intermittently, quickly hung up the phone and walked out of the cubicle. I opened the door as well and stood beside him washing my hands. Xian was surprised when he saw me. Why are you here? You actually eavesdropped on my phone call. I sneered disdainfully. I don't want to listen to that kind of nonsense. It will easily dirty my ears. You? Xian was so angry that his face turned red. There were only two of us in the bathroom, so he didn't need to pretend anymore and revealed his true face immediately. He looked at me provocatively. Secretary Lu, let's make a bet. Let's bet whether President Shen will rush to the hospital within an hour to see how much she values you. How about it? Chapter 9. Without her, am I living like a dog now? I paused while washing my hands and looked up at him. I don't have time to play such boring games with you. Even if I don't play, I know my current position in Shen Zhinian's heart. I wiped my hands and turned to go out. Xian's unconvinced voice sounded behind him. Lu Huichuan, you are a coward. I ignored him and hurried back to the ward, just in time to hear my colleague reporting my injury to Shen Zhinian. My colleague was on speakerphone, so Shen Zhinian's voice came clearly into my ears. It's just a cut. You won't die. Don't report such trivial matters to me in the future. If Lu Huichuan is still alive, let him continue to work. By the way, you all need to protect Xian. If anything happens to him, I'll only ask you. After Shen Zhinian finished his last sentence, he hung up the phone directly, leaving several colleagues looking at each other, and finally sighed. How is it? Did you hear everything clearly? Xian's haunting voice rang in my ears again, and he looked at me triumphantly. Now I am the person that Mr. Shen values the most, and you are no different from everyone else, so stop doing things that are beyond your capabilities. Xian folded his arms, walked past me proudly, and bumped me with his shoulder. I stumbled to the side, and all that echoed in my ears were Shen Zhinian's words just now. The pain in my body at this moment is not even 1/10 of the pain in my heart. I covered my chest, feeling so painful that I wanted to curl up, and a self-deprecating smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. It's strange. I clearly agreed to give up, but why do I still feel heartbroken when I hear those words from her? But it doesn't matter, I'll be leaving soon and won't have to hear these words again. Shen Zhinian's words completely cut off the last bit of hesitation in my heart. It was already evening when I got home from the hospital after getting in 4. When I pushed the door open and went in, I found that the lights in the living room were on and Shen Zhinian was sitting on the sofa. She looked up at me and hooked her finger at me. Come here. I was silent for 2 seconds, closed the door, walked to the sofa and sat down, and called respectfully, Boss Shen, why are you here? Shen Zhinian frowned. I don't like your sarcastic tone, don't talk like that in the future. She looked at the bandage on my head and said unhappily, why are you sitting so far away? Don't you want me to care about you? Come over here, let me see how badly you're injured. There was no expression of concern on her face, and her tone was somewhat condescending, as if she was giving alms. Just like when he took me in at the club for charity. I sat there without moving, and said coldly, no need, it's just a minor injury, don't worry about it. Shouldn't Mr. Shen be lingering in Xian's arms at this time? There's no need to come here just for me. I'm tired and want to sleep, Mr. Shen, please go back. I don't know if it was because I kept calling her Boss Shen that annoyed her, or if Shen Zhinian was just in a bad mood and wanted to vent her anger with me. She stood up with a dark face, and was furious. Lu Huichuan, who are you giving a cold shoulder to? Do you really think I'm giving you a face? Shen Zhinian suddenly rushed over, pinched my cheek with his palm, and stared at me. You'd better recognize your own status. If it weren't for me, you would be living like a dog. It was me who gave you the right to be a human being. If I want it, you should kneel down and wag your tail to beg for mercy and be grateful. Chapter 10. She is sure I will not leave. My whole body froze. Shen Zhinian's words were like needles piercing me. I couldn't pull them out, I couldn't shake them off. The more I struggled, the more it hurt. It turns out that in Shen Zhinian's heart, I was just a dog she raised. No wonder she could abandon me so casually. Thinking about it this way, my previous jealousy for her and my desire to spend my whole life with her seemed like a joke. My eyes dimmed and I smiled silently. When I spoke, I had already suppressed all the emotions in my heart. I'm sorry, Mr. Shen, I crossed the line. I'm sorry. I leaned my forehead forward and said, look if you want to. I shouldn't have said so much. I'm very happy to have your concern. I gave in and apologized first. Shen Zhinian should be happy, but she stared at my forehead and frowned even more. She pushed my face away and looked down at me with a cold tone. Lu Huichuan, you are really becoming more and more like a dog. You have been with me for so long, but you have only learned to be smooth and worldly wise. Not only have you lost your youthfulness, but you've also lost all the pride and integrity that I had when I first met you in the club. What's the difference between you and those disgusting people now? After saying that, Shen Zhinian picked up her bag, slammed the door and left angrily. I stood there in a daze, reached out to touch my face, and laughed at myself. Yes, I had lost myself a long time ago, and in order to be worthy of Shen Zhinian, I worked hard to make myself better, but now she calls me disgusting. Is there anyone more of a joke than me? I stood up expressionlessly, took a shower avoiding the wound, cooked some noodles, ate and prepared to go to bed, but at this moment, my phone received a photo sent by Xian. The background of the photo was dim, and it was obvious that it was taken in a club box. In the photo, Shen Zhinian was lying in Xian's arms, with her lips very close to him, as if she was going to kiss him in the next second. This is also a screenshot of a Moments post. Xian posted it on Moments and then took a screenshot and sent it to me. He boasted on WeChat Moments, my boss keeps pestering me and won't let me leave. What should I do? Waiting online, urgent. I felt a subtle pain in my heart. Maybe I'm used to it. I was much calmer than I thought. Anyway, in 20 days or so, it won't matter to me who stays with Shen Zhinian anymore, so I should get used to it in advance. I replied indifferently, take good care of Mr. Shen. After sending the message, I went to bed. When I was sleeping soundly, my cell phone suddenly rang. I picked it up in a daze, and it was Shen Zhinian's voice on the other end. I'm at the club, the usual place, come pick me up. I glanced at the time and found that it was already midnight, and was just about to call a car for her. Shen Zhinian added coldly, I want to see you in half an hour. After saying that, she hung up the phone without giving me any chance to refuse. I looked at the hung-up phone and all of a sudden all my sleepiness disappeared and I became awake instantly. I sighed softly, resigned myself to my fate and got up from the bed, changed my clothes and went to pick someone up. When I arrived at the club, I walked to the door of the box with ease and was about to push it open when I suddenly heard my name. Zhinian, Lu Huichuan is so devoted to you. Aren't you afraid that he will run away if you torture him like this? Shen Zhinian took a sip of wine and sneered disdainfully, he is just a dog. If I give him some sweet treats, he will wag his tail at me and he can't run away. Besides, he is not as handsome as before. The more I look at him, the more annoying I feel. Xian is much better than that old piece of meat. Chapter 11, Accepting Defeat. My heart seemed to skip a beat. I kept telling myself not to be sad about this anymore and not to waste my time on the pain. But whenever I hear this, I can't help but feel gloomy. The moment I opened the door, I had digested all the negative emotions and pretended that I heard nothing. Boss Shen, I'm here to pick you up. I maintained a perfect smile and calmly watched the noise in the box. Shen Zhinian was drinking with a group of friends, and Xian, who had a smirk on his face, followed him. My presence did not affect the atmosphere in the box. They were chatting idly and didn't pay any attention to my presence. Chinan, you really are always available whenever you're called. The words of the people around me made me understand that the purpose of my coming here was just to entertain them. Shen Zhinian looked at me with a cold face and said calmly, of course, this can be false. The boasting in her words was not because of me, but because I was obedient enough, just like a dog to her. There is no role for me in this carnival. They were toasting each other as usual, and I stood at the door of the box watching it all with an expressionless face. It seemed like I had already gotten used to being ignored. I didn't feel embarrassed at all and instead relaxed. I just hope it will end as soon as possible, so that I can take Shen Zhinian back and spend the remaining 21 days. Shen Zhinian's luck was not good, and he was constantly forced to drink. She has a strong tolerance for Xian beside her. If it were me, I would definitely step forward to block their wine without hesitation. But Xian just sat there and smiled, and Shen Zhinian drank cup after cup without any complaints. At this time, some people started to make a fuss. Chinan, you lose again. How about, have a drink with Xian? As soon as I said this, half of the people present looked at me. Some of them knew that Shen Zhinian and I had a special relationship. When I was not around, they kept pushing Shen Zhinian and Xian, and I believe this is what Shen Zhinian wanted to see. But with me around, everything became extremely awkward. Forget it, Chinan. This one doesn't count. Not counting. Why not? Shen Zhinian asked back, his eyes falling on me. I still watched all this calmly, as if nothing had happened. In fact, I have never had the right to interfere in what happened between her and Xian. It would be a lie to say that I don't care at all. I still have feelings for Shen Zhinian, although they are slowly coming to an end. I looked away from them, without changing my expression. Shen Zhinian frowned slightly, unhappy with my indifferent look. It's just a toast, I'm willing to accept the loss. Friends around him all looked embarrassed and gave advice. If you've had too much to drink, go back. Lu Huichuan is here to pick you up. Hearing this, Xian was unhappy. He looked at me with disdain, shrugged and said nonchalantly, Lu Huichuan is here, this is just his secretary's job. Let's just drink our own and ignore him. Boss Shen, please give me a favor. Xian said, picking up the wine glass in one hand and handing the other to Shen Zhinian. Shen Zhinian took it without hesitation and moved closer to Xian. The two of them got closer and closer, almost sticking to each other. Come on, Xiaowen, remember not to drink too fast. The people around started to make a noise, pushing the atmosphere to a climax. Through the corner of my eye, I saw with my own eyes the two of them hugging each other, looking at each other and drinking the wedding wine. When putting down the wine glass, Shen Zhinian's slender fingers deliberately slid across Xian's chest. Xiaowen has a great figure, unlike some old bacon. When Shen Zhinian said this, his eyes full of resentment stared in my direction. Chapter 12. You really think of yourself as a dog. I took a deep breath and tried my best to control my emotions. I haven't heard such straightforward praise from Shen Zhinian for a long time. The people around started to make a fuss again, asking Xian to take off his shirt and not to hide his great figure. Shen Zhinian, however, looked serious, suddenly interrupting the originally peaceful atmosphere. What nonsense! It's boring. Xiaowen is so innocent, you ask him to take off his shirt. Let's go, let's not play anymore, it's boring. Such obvious behavior of protecting his son earned Xian great vanity. He smiled and looked at me proudly. Mr. Shen is right. I'm shy. Shen Zhinian's attitude toward Xian was in stark contrast to his attitude toward me. If it were me, I would just hold up a shirt and no one would care. But if it was her beloved Xian, even an ordinary joke would not be allowed. The party ended because of Shen Zhinian's departure. She took Xian's arm and walked past me with a smile. When he looked at me, his face suddenly turned cold. Why are you standing there? Go drive. I was silent for a few seconds, and quickly pulled myself out of the emotion just now, and forced a smile. Okay, Mr. Shen. I passed the two of them and went downstairs first. When I started the car, I saw Shen Zhinian and Xian flirting with each other in front of the club gate. At this moment, I admit that I had the urge to end it all. But when I think of my mother in the hospital, and Shen Zhinian's tenderness when she rescued me, I held back and drove the car steadily to the entrance of the club, then got out respectfully and opened the door for them. Seeing me bending down to open the car door, Xian took out $200 bills from his wallet and scattered them casually in the wind. Then he pretended to be drunk and smiled embarrassedly. Boss Shen, I'm really confused. I almost thought Lu Huichuan was just a parking boy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Shen Zhinian responded to Xian's smile and said nonchalantly, what's so confusing about that? There's nothing wrong with saying that Lu Huichuan is a parking boy. I hunched over and $200 bills fell at my feet. My eyes met the bright red, and anger almost filled my mind. Xian became more and more daring, and humiliated Shen Zhinian again and again in front of her. I could only pretend nothing happened and put on a smiling face. This feeling of frustration and powerlessness gradually replaced the original heartache. Shen Zhinian didn't care about these and got into the car first. Let's go, Lu Huichuan, stop staring at the two bills on the ground. If you really want it, just pick it up. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just making money. It's not shameful. Xian also pretended to be enlightened at this time. I was wondering why you lowered your head, it turns out you wanted to pick up money. I frowned, not knowing how to express my feelings at the moment. I have been with Shen Zhinian for so many years. At the beginning, I did it to make money and pay for my mother's medical treatment. But the moment I fell in love with her, I had long since gotten rid of the lowly desire for money. I thought companionship was the most lasting confession of love, but in the end it was no match for the simple words, "I'm tired of you." I retracted my gaze and met Shen Zhinian's slightly red face. "Mr. Shen, do you want me to pick it up?" "If you want, of course I can." Facing my question, Shen Zhinian was a little caught off guard, but the surprise was fleeting. Instead, there was disgust from the bottom of my heart. "Pick it up if you want it, don't use it as an excuse to listen to me." I said you are a dog, do you really think of yourself as a dog? Chapter 13. No need to pretend. My silent resistance did not have the expected effect. Shen Zhinian was still straightforward and didn't take me to heart at all. "If you say so, then so be it." I answered casually and turned to the driver's seat to drive. But she, Shen Zhinian, can be indifferent and indifferent, but I can't. My behavior caused Shen Zhinian's dissatisfaction. She frowned and looked at me seriously. "What do you mean? Is that your attitude? Then I want you to pick it up now, will you go?" I didn't say a word, opened the door and got out of the car in one go. Coming to the back seat of the car, I took a deep breath, squatted down, and picked up the $200 bills that Xian threw out. This seemingly humble behavior made me feel relieved. To Shen Zhinian, I am just a dog that comes whenever he is called. As for me, she was also slowly changing. From treating me sincerely at the beginning, it gradually became that as long as I listened to her, I could protect my mother. 21 days from now, I will no longer be as obedient as I am now. When the day comes when the clouds clear and light appears, all the resentment will be thrown behind you. "Thank you, Mr. Shen." I put the $200 bills in my pocket and returned to the driver's seat as if nothing had happened. As the car started, Shen Zhinian's hands clenched tightly, gradually losing color. She could see my dissatisfaction and that I was resisting, but when the words came to her lips, she didn't know how to start. Xian looked at this scene and pursed his lips in dissatisfaction. "It's just $200 bills. As long as you park your car properly in the future, you will have plenty of opportunities. Of course, you should try not to make Mr. Shen angry." As Xian spoke, his hand quietly moved closer to Shen Zhinian. Shen Zhinian's hands, which were originally shaking due to anger, were wrapped in a ball of warmth. But she did not accept it calmly. Instead, she dodged as if frightened, and then she let out a long sigh and calmed down. "Zhu Weichuan, do you know what I hate most about you now? You just don't have any pride at all. You're willing to be a lapdog and can't even bark." Through the rearview mirror, I keenly captured Shen Zhinian's subconscious movements. They both had obviously done everything before, so why did they still act like this when they had physical contact? I shook my head and stopped thinking about it and didn't take it to heart. "Thank you, Mr. Shen, for your teachings. I will learn from you in the future." I responded very coldly, and just as Shen Zhinian was about to speak, the car stopped steadily in front of the villa. She got out of the car angrily and turned to walk towards the villa. Xian didn't rush to chase after me, but looked at me coldly. "Zhu Weichuan, is there something wrong with your brain? Mr. Shen is already under enough pressure at work, it's just a drink. As a grown man, can you stop being so petty?" I frowned slightly, turned around and looked at Xian with strange eyes. "Boss Shen is gone, there's no need to keep pretending. This car doesn't have a dash cam." In my opinion, Xian's original intention of approaching Shen Zhinian was definitely not that simple. Apart from his age, he has nothing to do with sunshine and innocence. Is it that easy to get close to a female CEO with a net worth of hundreds of millions? How is it possible to rely on the simplicity of sunshine? After hearing what I said, Xian did not let down his guard. Instead, he looked righteous and pointed at my nose and scolded me. "Don't give me that crap. I will say this regardless of whether Mr. Shen is here or not. Mr. Shen now has no feelings for you at all, at most he feels pity for you, do you understand? Mr. Shen is still Mr. Shen without you, but what are you without Mr. Shen?" Chapter 14. Why are you so distant? My face turned cold instantly. This car is the one I usually use to pick up Shen Zhinian, and it is equipped with a dashcam with voice recognition. I wanted to test Xian and get him to speak out his true feelings. I never thought he was so cautious and kept his words to himself. Because of this, I can conclude that Xian's purpose in approaching Shen Zhinian was not simple. I coughed lightly and responded calmly, "You are right, but you are not right. I am Mr. Shen's secretary. There is nothing wrong with my job. I can help Mr. Shen solve his problems. And you, Xian, can't do that." I turned around and forced myself to calm down and stop talking to Xian. He said some nice words to himself, then knocked on the door and left. The car became quiet again. I looked up at the dashcam with a flashing red dot, struggling inside. No matter how you look at it, it seems like I am guiding Xian today, and he is untainted by the mud, with a pure and kind heart, and he is wholeheartedly doing good for Shen Zhinian. After much hesitation, I deleted the records of the previous few minutes without permission. Then he drove home alone and lay back in bed. Looking out the window at the rising sun, fatigue swept over my nerves. When I was alone with Xian, I still subconsciously thought about her, fearing that she would be blinded by the people around her. I'm about to leave, but it always happens like this. I forced myself to stand up, picked up the calendar beside me, and drew a cross on it. 21 days, hold on, Zhu Huaichuan. The next morning, as expected, I was late because I went to pick up Shen Zhinian last night. When I arrived at the company, Shen Zhinian and Xian had not arrived yet. But they don't need to check attendance, but I do. The head of the HR department stopped me and looked at the attendance sheet in confusion. "Secretary Zhu, this attendance sheet." Before, given the relationship between Shen Zhinian and I, no one would care about these things and would just turn a blind eye. But since Xian came and I fell out of favor, my privileges disappeared. Thinking that I would be leaving soon, I didn't want to cause trouble to others. Just record it normally. I'm late. The head of the HR department nodded, and just as he was about to put pen to paper, his hand stopped in mid-air, and he looked aside in astonishment. Following her line of sight, I met Shen Zhinian's displeased expression. "If you're late, you're late. Why are you dawdling? Don't you have any other work to do? This month's full attendance will be cancelled and the bonus will be deducted. And you, the head of the HR department, are trying to use a backdoor. You don't have to receive your full attendance certificate this month." I was very cautious not to trouble others, but I didn't expect to end up with a bad reputation. The head of the HR department had no way of speaking out and could only suffer in silence. She couldn't possibly blame Shen Zhinian, so she could only vent her resentment on me. After Shen Zhinian left, she angrily crossed out my name on the attendance sheet. "No one is allowed to be late, and all of you will be deducted for full attendance." I sighed, wondering if Shen Zhinian was there, taking revenge on me for what happened yesterday. I was already becoming a laughingstock in the company, and now I was the target of public criticism. The company's attendance system, because I re-promoted. I was feeling dissatisfied, but I could only console myself by leaving for more than 20 days, and quietly went to the coffee room to make coffee for her. Holding the scalding hot coffee, I pushed open the door of Shen Zhinian's office. What caught the eye was the affectionate scene between her and Xian. Our eyes met, and I was stunned for a moment before trying to escape. "Sorry, I'll come back later." Before I could turn around, Shen Zhinian stopped me. "Wait, bring the coffee over here. Why are you so reserved? It's not like you haven't seen it before." Chapter 15. Why not go? I have indeed seen Shen Zhinian and Xian being affectionate with each other quite a few times. But those were all times when there was no one around and we bumped into each other by accident, but it's different now. There are floor-to-ceiling transparent windows on both sides of the office. Although they are blocked by blinds, the scene inside can be seen clearly if one wants to peek. Shen Zhinian doesn't treat me as a human being at all, and doesn't care about the opinions of other people in the company. The only person in her eyes now is Xian, the pretty boy. I took a deep breath, suppressed my inner dissatisfaction, and placed the scalding coffee on the desk. "I'm sorry, Mr. Shen. I'm not being polite. This is the company after all." I swallowed the last part of the sentence, "bad influence." With my status, to accuse the high and mighty Shen Zhinian seems to be against Jiangang no matter how you look at it. Even if I didn't say it, Shen Zhinian understood what I meant. I don't know if it was to make her position clear, but she actually took Xian's hand and put it around her waist. "What happened to the company? Xiaoan and I don't need to hide anything. But you, stop pretending to be harmless. Have you kept your distance from me during your time in the company?" My expression remained calm, but I felt mixed emotions inside. During the 3 years, the most interactions between me and Shen Zhinian in the company were nothing more than arm in arm. No matter what happens in private, people in the company can't do anything to us. This is also the reason why I can still get away with it even though Shen Zhinian has thrown herself into Xian's arms. Even if they knew that something was going on between us, it was just hearsay. When getting close to me, Shen Zhinian always had a way out. But when it comes to Xian, he is completely unreserved. This psychological gap makes me feel heartbroken. I misunderstood Mr. Shen, I just don't want to cross the line. After explaining, I turned around and walked out regardless of Shen Zhinian's dissatisfaction behind me. After coming out of the office, I leaned against the tea room and gasped for breath. Emotions that should not have been born still surge like a spring, filling my heart again and again. There is no harm without comparison. Compared with Xian, Shen Zhinian is far inferior to me. Coming out of the tea room, I regained my usual calm. No matter how I struggle inside, all I can do is not show it. As soon as I sat down at my workstation, Xian came up to me with a provocative look on his face and handed me a document. Well done, Secretary Lu, the project of the downtown amusement park has been successfully completed. Of course, this is inseparable from your personal inspection. You, a great hero, will not be absent from the celebration banquet tonight, right? I didn't answer and silently glanced at the signature on the document. Although I had expected it, the moment I actually saw it, anger still filled my nerves. Which line are Shen Zhinian and Xian's names on? The moment I, Zhu Huichuan, was treated as a deputy, I was completely cut off from this project. For more than a year, I have endured countless days and nights for this project, but now, because of Shen Zhinian's words, I have handed it over to Xian, whom I hate the most. Is Mr. Shen going? I clenched my teeth, trying hard not to let my anger burst out. Xian grinned and responded provocatively, of course, this is a project between Mr. Shen and me. We too are the protagonists of the celebration banquet, so there is no reason for us not to go. I agreed to go and then made an excuse to go to the bathroom. I put my hands together under the faucet and let the biting coldness hit my face. I couldn't help laughing at myself. Then let's go together and celebrate our success. Chapter 16. Don't stop, I love listening. As night fell, it was soon time to get off work. The members of the downtown amusement park project packed their bags early in the morning. The project brought in considerable profits, and they naturally received generous bonuses. After attending the celebration banquet, all team members were given 1 day of paid leave. This joy should have belonged to me. The person standing next to Shen Zhinian should have been me. Shen Zhinian took Xian's arm and walked out of the office, waving his hand with a smile. Let's go, everyone will not leave until they are drunk at the celebration party tonight. Throughout the entire company, almost everyone couldn't contain their joy. I am the only one who can calmly watch this joy slip away from my fingers. While I was in a daze, Shen Zhinian and Xian had already come to me. Go drive, why are you standing there? You've been taking your work less and less seriously lately. Shen Zhinian did not hide her disgust at all, which made Xian beside her very happy. Don't say that, Mr. Shen. Everyone has bad days. Hearing this, Shen Zhinian immediately put on a smile and turned to look at Xian lovingly. You are still considerate, unlike some people. Let's go, Xiaowen. You are a great contributor. It will be bad if you are late. I have seen a lot of female green tea lovers, but male green tea lovers are rare. Xian's green tea remarks made even his colleagues beside him sigh. But Shen Zhinian didn't think so. She believed that Xian was pure and sunny, as dazzling as the sun rising in the afternoon. All their mistakes can be covered up by his face and sunshine. In the elevator, I stood silently behind the two of them, watching them whispering in each other's ears. Shen Zhinian glanced at me from time to time, as if to make sure I wasn't eavesdropping. It wasn't until the elevator door opened that I felt relieved and walked towards the car alone. After opening the car door, Xian wanted to use the same trick again and took out the LV wallet that Shen Zhinian had given him. Oh, I've really gotten used to it. I always want to tip the parking attendant. Shen Zhinian patted his shoulder lightly and joked nonchalantly, Naughty, get in the car quickly. My face was gloomy and I returned to the car in silence. I thought the venue for the celebration banquet should be the banquet hall of a big hotel. But looking at the address Xian sent me, I was shocked to find that the destination was the club that Shen Zhinian often went to. She really didn't treat the company's employees as outsiders, and even chose this kind of place for the celebration party. After parking the car, I pushed open the door of the box with ease. They have already started toasting each other, flattering Shen Zhinian and Xian about how great they are, and how they led them to win this big order. When they saw me appear, those flatterers shut their mouths in embarrassment. Everyone present here has followed me for more than a year and knows exactly who won the project. They can say things against their will, and they can also please their leaders in order to survive in the company, but they are not shameless enough to talk nonsense in front of me. It was because of my appearance that the box became deserted. Seeing this, Shen Zhinian frowned slightly and stared at the flatterer who was speaking halfway. "Keep talking, don't stop. I love to hear it." Xian also stopped what he was doing, raised his glass and handed it to the flatterer. "Boss Shen asked you to continue, so just continue. Here, everything must be centered around Mr. Shen, understand?" The flatterer was flattered and took the wine glass, then quickly put on a smiling face. "Yes, yes. It is under the leadership of Mr. Shen and Xian that we can win this project." As he spoke, the sycophant's eyes fell on me. Chapter 17. I am not qualified to speak yet. I walked up to him and sat in the corner of the box, then picked up the wine glass on the table and drank it all. This project was crucial to the company. It not only paid well, but also raised its profile. I have already taken 99 steps, and Xian only needs to move once to successfully write his name at the end of the project book. Although this is a well-known matter, no one wants to offend Shen Zhinian. Or for me, someone who has fallen out of favor and is about to leave the company. Everyone looked at me, wanting to see my reaction when hearing this. But I remained calm and picked up the second glass of wine. Shen Zhinian was very dissatisfied with my lack of competition and felt that it was not satisfying enough. "Keep talking. Tell me how Xiaowen and I led you to win the project." The colleagues around me tapped their toes in embarrassment, and didn't know how to start the conversation. In fact, Shen Zhinian's only contribution to this project was the company's name. Xian made no contribution at all. At the end of the acceptance inspection, he went to the site with a bald head and threw me down heavily. It was me who drank with the clients until I had stomach bleeding, and I kept telling them about the strong background of our company and trying to please them over and over again. Rain or shine, he went there again and again, trying his best to perfect the plan. After more than a year and countless days and nights, he successfully won the project. Now Shen Zhinian is so shameless that he asks the project team members to talk about how they lead. It is ridiculous. After a brief silence, the flatterer finally gave in. "Boss Shen, it was you and Xian who worked through countless days and nights to perfect the project, drank with the client, and led us to win the project. The people who should be most thanked for this project are you and Xian. I fucked Mr. Shen, you guys can do whatever you want." Colleagues around him started to make a fuss and drank one glass of wine after another, fearing that they would miss the opportunity to please their leader. My hand holding their wine glass began to tremble, and I had a lot of anger but no place to vent it. This credit should have belonged to me, but these people easily replaced it with a different name. Shen Zhinian laughed heartily and habitually lay in Xian's arms. "Did you hear that, Xiaowen? They are all praising you." Xian put his arm around Shen Zhinian's shoulder, his expression teasing. "Of course, Mr. Shen, this is what we deserve." I tried hard not to look at the faces of this couple, but my eyes still swept over them uncontrollably. Colleagues looked embarrassed and watched their intimate actions but did not dare to show any abnormality. This celebration banquet was absurd and full of hypocrisy. I stared at the wine glass in front of me and kept drinking, trying to block out the outside words. Shen Zhinian looked in my direction, but found that I was still calm, as if these flatteries that reversed right and wrong had nothing to do with me. The more I acted like I didn't care, the more bored she found me. "Zhu Huichuan, at least you participated in the project acceptance and are one of the heroes. How about you say a few words?" Xian stood up, picked up the microphone in the box and handed it to me. "Yes, I almost forgot that Secretary Zhu is also a great contributor. I really don't have the energy to deal with them, nor can I stay calm." I refused without even moving my eyes. "No need, compared to Mr. Shen's contribution to the project, I am not qualified to speak." Shen Zhinian bit her thin lips lightly, her brows furrowed. "If you don't think you are qualified, you shouldn't be here. This is a celebration party for the project team, not a drinking party at a club." Chapter 18. How about spending a night with me? I turned my head slightly and met Shen Zhinian's cold gaze. "I have never recognized this. I am indeed not qualified and should not be here. Excuse me." I spoke calmly, stood up without hesitation, pushed the door and left. Shen Zhinian and Xian were left looking at each other, wondering where I got the courage to not give face to her, the president, in front of so many employees. But I just listened to her and didn't appear where I shouldn't be. Because I was drunk, I simply hailed a taxi and went straight home. For the first time in 3 years, I hit the mute button on my phone. This was also the most sound sleep I had in the past 3 years. When I woke up, it was already morning. Because of the special nature of my job, I have to keep my phone on 24 hours a day all year round to ensure that if there is any emergency on Shen Zhinian's side, I can be contacted as soon as possible. "I'll see you in half an hour" has become the words I'm most used to hearing in my life. When I turned on my phone in the morning, there were more than a dozen missed calls from Shen Zhinian. There is also a selfie from Xian. He was half lying on the bed, with a ruddy-faced Shen Zhinian beside him, and the caption read, "Zhu Huichuan, you are really incompetent as a secretary. You want me to send Mr. Shen back in person?" I didn't respond. I looked at the time and it was time to go to work. I added another entry to my calendar and headed out the door. After arriving at the company, Shen Zhinian and Xian came together only after lunch. When passing by me, Shen Zhinian gave me a disgusted look. "Why didn't you answer the phone yesterday? Zhu Huichuan, you are so bold. If you have this attitude towards work, you might as well get out as soon as possible." Watching the two of them leaving, I let out a long sigh and leaned back in my chair. The people around me looked at me with sighing eyes, as if they were laughing at a joke. For several days in a row, I didn't receive any news from Shen Zhinian, and I went to the company to punch in and out every day as usual. I'm still a little uncomfortable with not having Shen Zhinian in my life anymore. Looking at the 17-day countdown, I felt for the first time that time was passing so slowly, even slower than the past 3 years. I thought that before I left Shen Zhinian, we would no longer have any intersection. That night, her phone rang again. "The old place, come pick me up. I want to see you in half an hour." My rare sleep quality was disrupted. After a little hesitation, I forced myself to get up and drive to the club. After pushing open the door of the box, I saw a face that made me a little scared. Wu Luei sat not far from Shen Zhinian, and both of them had a handsome young master beside them. I was stunned for a moment, afraid that Wu Luei would tell Shen Zhinian something and make my plan that night fail. "Zhu Huichuan, send Mr. Wu back. You guys are familiar with him anyway." Shen Zhinian's commanding tone made me feel relieved. It seems that Wu Luei didn't say anything extra, and this drinking party has nothing to do with me. It's still Mr. Shen who understands me. He asked Zhu Huichuan to send me off. If anyone else came, I wouldn't want to. Xiao Zhu and I are very familiar with each other. We have slept in the same bed before, so of course we are familiar with each other. As Wu Luei spoke, she let go of the young master's hand and moved closer to me step by step. She rushed into my arms, leaving a kiss on my neck. "Let's go, it's getting late." Then, she lowered her voice and added, "Zhu Huichuan, thank me for not telling Mr. Shen about what happened that night. In return, how about staying with me for one night?" Chapter 19, Half a Partner. I didn't say anything, but made way for him and said, "Mr. Wu, this way please." Wu Luei didn't make things difficult for me. She twisted her waist and gave me a meaningful look. "I'll be waiting for you in the car, hurry up." As Wu Luei left, Shen Zhinian snorted coldly, showing disdain. "Sure enough, Zhu Huichuan, I thought you would be different from those people. It turns out that all crows are black, and a good night's sleep can earn cooperation. Go quickly, don't keep your Mr. Wu waiting anxiously." I subconsciously wanted to explain that what happened that day was just a misunderstanding. The words came to my lips, but I swallowed them back. If I say it at this time, won't that mean I'm selling out Wu Luei? While I was thinking, Shen Zhinian started to speak in a sarcastic tone again. "Why didn't I realize before that Zhu Huichuan, you are living such a good life? You actually managed to make Mr. Wu happy. He even praised you for your skillfulness just now." I nodded, tacitly agreeing to Shen Zhinian's praise. Fortunately, there was no rush to explain. Wu Luei had already told Shen Zhinian what happened. It was just a simple physical transaction. If I were to stir up trouble again, I would get into trouble instead. I didn't think about it anymore. I only had 17 days to get away from this woman. So what if it was a misunderstanding? We will just be strangers in the future. "Thank you, Mr. Shen. I will work harder." Leaving the box, I opened the car door while suppressing my nausea. In the back seat of the car, Wu Lue held up a makeup mirror and kept tapping her face. How about it? I helped you this time, I won't get nothing in return, right? If I tell Shen Zhinian that you didn't sleep with me at all and you tampered with the contract, who do you think will suffer in the end? I have to admit that Wu Lue really helped me this time. Her cooperation with Shen Zhinian has been finalized, and even if the truth is revealed at this time, it will not affect anything. As a member of their group, I will be the only victim. Mr. Wu, what kind of reward do you want? If I can do it, I will do my best. Wu Lue put away the makeup mirror and looked at me through the rearview mirror with a wicked smile. When their eyes met, an ominous premonition arose. Why are you pretending to be confused? Don't you know what I want? I suppressed my nausea and forced a smile. Besides this, Mr. Wu, do you have any other needs? I've said it before, there's no point in forcing it. Why don't I finish what I couldn't do last time and find you some young ones? I don't have much hope for this. As long as the contract is in effect, I will be at their mercy. Even if Wu Lue insisted that I accompany her, I could only do my job. But I never expected that she actually agreed. Okay, good things never come late. You will fall into my hands sooner or later, there is no rush. If you give me half of the profit, we can be considered half partners. Don't worry, what I said last time still counts. When Shen Zhinian doesn't want you anymore, remember to throw yourself into my arms. I sent Wu Lue to another club and used the connections I had accumulated over the years to help her find a few top performers. When I got home, it was already past 4 in the morning. Shen Zhinian's phone rang at this time, the ringtone was urgent and harsh. Zhu Huichuan, is it over? I just felt confused and didn't understand the meaning of Shen Zhinian's call. Before I could answer, Xian's voice came from the other end of the phone. Can you do it? You won't be a fast boy, will you? Chapter 20. You are too brave. I admit that when I heard Shen Zhinian's question, I mistook it for concern for a moment. After all, Wu Lue was notoriously difficult to deal with, and few people could get out of her bed unscathed. But when he heard Xian's voice, the last thought was gone. Boss Shen, what do you want to talk to me about? I ignored Xian's bad taste and asked in confusion. Shen Zhinian sneered, mockingly, I just want to see if you are still alive, so as not to be played to death by Mr. Wu. Since you are still alive, serve Mr. Wu well. As the call ended, my heart sank. This joke is not funny. Xian's existence has always been a scourge to me. I tossed and turned all night and couldn't fall asleep. The bits and pieces of the past 3 years with Shen Zhinian kept flashing through his mind. No matter what, happy scenes are always easier to remember, much more often than those times of feeling wronged. I added another entry to the calendar with dark circles under my eyes. In 16 days, this unrequited love will come to an end. When I arrived at the company, Xian came to me with a provocative smile. Zhu Huichuan, it seems that you really have some skills. You can actually serve Mr. Wu so happily. Boss Shen asked you to hand in your proposal tonight. By the way, I'm your deputy, just call me if you need anything. My face was gloomy and I responded indifferently. In my opinion, Xian is just a useless vase, and everyone in the company is well aware of this. Shen Zhinian asked him to be my deputy, and I couldn't help but have a bad feeling, fearing that the amusement park project incident would happen again. I don't care about the honor of these projects, nor do I like to take credit. But I can't bear to give up the project that I worked so hard to get. With this in mind, I was careful in writing down some of the data in the project plan and deliberately made mistakes. Although it is a very small deviation, it will cause irreversible consequences once it is put into production. I was busy until nightfall, when Shen Zhinian interrupted me with a cold snort. Oh, Zhu Huichuan, your business ability is really getting worse and worse. It's just a proposal. It's taken so long to submit it. I took a deep breath and wanted to ask where my deputy had gone. So much complex data should have been calculated by the assistant, and I was only responsible for the overall plan. Now that I'm both a father and a mother, naturally things are much slower than usual. Sorry Mr. Shen, I'll hand it over right away. I didn't mention the so-called deputy Xian, lest Shen Zhinian find excuses for him. Shen Zhinian stood behind me, watching me typing quietly. It seems that this plan is more urgent than I thought. Normally, she doesn't have the time to check on my work. Fortunately, I was focused enough to complete the plan before leaving get off work. I leaned back on the chair and subconsciously stretched my waist, but inadvertently touched Shen Zhinian behind me. I felt something soft on the back of my hand, and I suddenly came to my senses. "No, I'm sorry, Mr. Shen." Shen Zhinian's pretty face blushed slightly, and she looked at me in disbelief. "Zhu Weichuan, you are too brave, this is the company." I quickly guessed where that softness came from. Although it was an unintentional behavior, all the colleagues around him saw it. "Come with me to the conference room. We're working overtime today. Wait for Mr. Wu to come over and talk about the plan. You'd better perfect it first, and let Xiaoan take a look at it." Hearing this, I paused and said, "Let Xian see it." "Mr. Shen, you will let him tell the story." Chapter 21. Is this data correct? Shen Zhinian disagreed and turned around and went straight back to the office. Looking at the plan saved in the computer, I quietly printed it out and took it to the president's office. At this time, Xian was sitting opposite Shen Zhinian. The two of them were talking and laughing, and they ignored my arrival. It wasn't until I put the plan on the table that Shen Zhinian came back to his senses. "Xiaoan, take a good look at the contents of the plan, and you can go up and talk about it later." The result I least wanted to see finally happened. Xian was even more shameless than I thought and picked up the plan without thinking. "No problem, Mr. Shen, thank you for your trust in me. Don't worry, I will definitely satisfy Mr. Wu and finalize the cooperation." I watched this scene expressionlessly, my stomach churning. I've seen shameless people, but I've never seen anyone so shameless. It was obvious that I was busy all day, checking every piece of data and taking great pains to write the plan. But now it is in Xian's hands, and he keeps saying that he has lived up to his trust. As my thoughts wandered, I met Shen Zhinian's cold eyes. She was the first to speak in confusion. "Zhu Weichuan, are you not satisfied with something? Xiaoan is your deputy. You are already so tired from writing the plan today. I will let him speak on your behalf. Isn't this for your own good? My kindness is taken for granted." He was clearly trying to steal the credit, but he spoke as if he was only thinking of me. "Under the banner of doing good for me, you do things that are unfair to me. I can only say that you are doing this for my own good." At this point, I am powerless to refute. The project of the downtown amusement park, Wu Lui's project, I was being sidelined step by Shen Zhinian. With only 16 days left, I thought it was the countdown to escape from the sea of suffering. But now, it looks like 16 days of hell on earth. Thank you, Mr. Shen. I am not dissatisfied. I hope Xian can do the job well and not make Mr. Wu unhappy. I saved myself a last bit of dignity, turned around and pushed the door to leave. But Shen Zhinian called him back. "Don't go, after all, it was you who wrote the plan, and Xiaoan needs your help if there are things he doesn't understand. From now on, you are Xiaoan's deputy. The kind that won't leave you alone, understand?" I don't understand why Shen Zhinian seems to want to take revenge on me. The feeling she gave me gradually changed from being nice to Xiaoan to being full of hatred towards me. Clear. I clenched my teeth and squeezed out a few words. Before he finished speaking, the news that Wu Lue had come to the company had spread. Shen Zhinian and Xian stood up together, passed by me, and went to greet Wu Lue together. All I could do was follow behind and watch Xian take the plan I wrote and push open the door of the conference room. Our eyes met, and I subconsciously avoided Wu Lue's gaze. "Mr. Wu, we meet again." Xian took the initiative to step forward and stretched out his gaze towards Wu Lue. The woman looked Xian up and down, but didn't respond. Xian is Shen Zhinian's man, and Wu Lue and Shen Zhinian are on the same level. Wu Lue knew that she couldn't poach Xian, even though he was a good-looking pretty boy, which was exactly the type Wu Lue liked. "Mr. Wu, let me explain the plan to you today. Our company has great confidence in this cooperation." As he spoke, Xian opened the plan and began to describe the plan vividly. I watched all this coldly, trying hard not to let the resentment in my eyes spread. Halfway through her words, Wu Lue quickly discovered the clue. "Wait, is this data correct? Chapter 22. Did you write this plan?" Xian was stunned for a moment, then smiled awkwardly and asked, "Is there anything wrong?" I paid close attention to the plan and found that there were indeed some deviations in the data. But I spent a whole day painstakingly calculating the data. How could Wu Lue possibly see that? I frowned, curious about what Wu Lue would say next. "What do you think? You wrote the plan, and you ask me. What's your name, Xian? Mr. Shen will spoil you, but I won't. This is cooperation, not a joke." As soon as these words came out, Shen Zhinian's face was covered with a layer of gloom. She crossed her legs and looked down at Xian. Since Mr. Wu has brought it up, let me explain it. In order to avoid listening to what Mr. Wu said, it seems that there is no one in my company. The air was filled with gunpowder and my eyes wandered between the two women. I never expected that they could actually quarrel with each other even though there was an obvious conflict of interest. Xian was in a dilemma for a moment and looked at me for help. I naturally guessed that he would look at me, so I simply turned my head away and didn't look at him. Wu Lui's patience was gradually exhausted. Xian, did you write this plan? Why don't you let Zhu Huichuan come? Didn't he sign the contract with me? Faced with Wu Lui's question, Shen Zhinian hurriedly stood up to protect her. Negotiation of cooperation is one thing, and writing a proposal is another. Xiaowen's ability is naturally beyond words. I raised my eyebrows slightly. From what she said, it seemed that Wu Lue was going to stand up for me. I didn't accompany her that night, but she turned around and defended me. If you continue to stand up for me now, I will have to pay the price sooner or later. After a little hesitation, I still couldn't hold back my temper. Boss Shen, Boss Wu, how about I talk about the plan? I was afraid that the situation would get out of control, so I stepped forward. Shen Zhinian naturally had no objection, since all the credit had already been attributed to Xian. Even if I stand up now, I will only be a deputy. But Wu Lue was not happy. I just want to know who wrote this plan. Whoever wrote it should speak up, otherwise, Mr. Shen, you don't take me seriously. I sighed and was about to explain that I had edited the plan myself. But before I could open my mouth, Xian bravely took the lead. I'm sorry, Mr. Wu. Of course I wrote the plan, but I was a little nervous. Don't worry, I won't make any mistakes this time. Shen Zhinian nodded with satisfaction. His approving eyes fell on Xian, and the corners of his mouth curled up. When he looked at me, he suddenly turned cold. Zhu Huichuan, you are the deputy, and Xiaowen is young after all, and lacks this kind of meeting experience. Don't be so stingy. Just stand up and help when you need to. I can't describe my indignation, and can only remain silent. Wu Lue noticed something fishy early on and looked at me with interest. That wolf-like and tiger-like look seemed to want to eat me alive. Xian just glanced at the plan and had no idea about the twists and turns in it. Not long after, he couldn't continue. This is the same level. I am still under Shen Zhinian's command and bound by a contract. There is no reason for me to give up this hard-earned cooperation. When Xian was stuck, I still chose to help. It's a level ruler, the same sentence as above. The data of 3.72 is wrong. The correct data should be 3.74. Also, our company's investment in this cooperation is 30 million, not 300 million. Xian on the stage turned pale and his body couldn't stop shaking. I'm sorry, I saw it wrong. Yeah. Wu Lue pressed the issue. Let me ask you one last time, did you write this plan? Chapter 23 Professional matters should be left to professionals. Xian was so panicked that he hesitated on the stage, not knowing how to answer. Wu Lue was obviously angry. Although she was criticized for what she did in bed, it did not mean that the Wu group was weak and could be bullied. The benefits brought by this cooperation are very considerable, and both parties can make a lot of money. Anyone would feel bad if they were deceived again and again when introducing a project plan. I have to admit that my presence was selfish. On one side was Xian, who couldn't even speak clearly, and on the other side was me, who had written the entire plan by hand. Anyone who is not a fool should be able to see the clues. Boss Shen, it seems that your company does not attach much importance to this cooperation. Wu Lue was patient, looking in the direction of Shen Zhinian with a fake smile. When their eyes met, Shen Zhinian's face was gloomy. Boss Wu, Xiaowen just lacks experience. Before Shen Zhinian could finish, Wu Lue suddenly changed the subject. Yes, since he has no experience at all, why let him go on stage? If I remember correctly, the person who did this before was always Zhu Huichuan. I couldn't help but gasp, my eyes narrowed, and I felt uneasy. This woman, Wu Lue, is no less psychologically cautious than Shen Zhinian, and they are both old foxes in the business world. The two people who were working together confronted each other in front of so many people. It was a good show for others, but for me, the person involved, it was harmful and had no benefit. Isn't this just to train the newcomers? If Mr. Wu is not satisfied, then just change the person. Why get so angry? Shen Zhinian still surprised me after all. Despite such a large order, she chose to stand on Xian's side first. My 3 years of companionship seemed more like a joke at this moment. Okay, how about I introduce him to Mr. Wu? I volunteered, stood up and faced everyone, making it clear that I would not give Shen Zhinian a chance to refuse. She treated me like this, and I'm not the kind of person who has no temper. I have never disobeyed Shen Zhinian in the past 3 years. Anyway, I will leave in 16 days, so I might as well give it my all. Okay. Wu Luwei naturally had no objection. Professional matters should be left to professionals. The implication of Wu Luwei's words was clear enough. She looked down on Xian, but it was most likely not because of me, but because she couldn't get Xian, and she turned love into hate. Since Mr. Wu has said so, I have no reason to refuse. Shen Zhinian had a cold face. She never thought that I would do such an outrageous thing. She clenched her fists in anger, and her nails dug into the flesh and lost all color. I pretended not to see it and went straight to the stage to take the plan from Xian. Then he raised the corner of his mouth and whispered a reminder to the other party. How can it be so easy to steal the fruits of other people's labor? Xian was very angry, but he couldn't lose his temper in such a situation, so he could only hold back his anger and step down. I wrote this plan word by word myself. I gave a smooth introduction and corrected a few erroneous data. It took me only 10 minutes to finish the entire plan. The time I spent on stage was not as long as the time Xian spent awkwardly scribbling on stage. As soon as I finished speaking, thunderous applause broke out in the conference room, led by Wu Luwei. Boss Shen, it turns out that we still need professionals to come here. Look how well this is said. Isn't it better than some pretty face who can't do anything? It wastes both of our time. Chapter 24. There's no need to be serious with him. Wu Luwei looked at Shen Zhinian with a smile, and scolded the company and Xian in one sentence. Xian's face looked as ugly as if he had eaten a fly. He hung his head and his cheeks turned red. Shen Zhinian was not much better, because she was powerless to refute. There was nothing wrong with what Wu Luwei said. Xian was just a pretty face who could do nothing. But I just can't stand Shen Zhinian's liking for me. What can I do? I walked down the stage holding the plan and sat next to Shen Zhinian again. I heard clearly what several people were saying in the audience, and the smoothness of the situation made me understand that at this time, the only person I could offend was Wu Luwei, not Shen Zhinian. Our company will definitely pay attention to the people educated by Mr. Wu in the future. But Mr. Shen is right, Xian just lacks experience. Don't worry, he won't be in such a situation in the future. I explained calmly, completely ignoring the embarrassment on the others' faces. Wu Luwei, who was so arrogant just now looked unhappy. Oh, I'm quite satisfied with our cooperation this time, but I won't be so easy to fool next time. Looking at Wu Luwei's back as she left, I breathed a sigh of relief. No matter what the process is, the result is always good. I slowly stood up and pretended to say goodbye to Shen Zhinian. Boss Shen, if there is nothing else, I will. Before I could finish my words, I was met with Shen Zhinian's disdainful look. She sneered and exposed me mercilessly. Zhu Huaichuan, why are you pretending? What were you doing to protect the company and Xiaowen? You just don't want to offend me, don't think I can't see it. You have made a good calculation. You can please Mr. Wu on the one hand, and you don't offend this person on the other hand. You are just a smooth talker. What other skills do you have? The same was true for Xian standing by, who showed no gratitude at all for my rescue. That's right. Have you ever thought about how embarrassing it would be for the company and Mr. Shen to be caught in the middle? I frowned slightly, and my hand holding the plan tightened unconsciously. If Xian hadn't insisted on explaining the plan, which he didn't understand at all, in order to grab the credit, there wouldn't have been so many troubles. These two people are acting in a pretentious manner. Just like last time, they would just give up the project that I have been following for a year. Even if I am unhappy about it, I cannot bring it up. What's the point of going through this process that everyone can see? So, is it my fault? I wrote a plan. If I were asked to talk about it at the beginning, would there be so many things to say? I couldn't hold my temper any longer and asked back harshly. As soon as I said this, I already regretted my impulsiveness. But once the words are spoken, there is no way for me to take them back. Shen Zhinian stared at me in silence for a few seconds, then turned his gaze away and patted Xian's shoulder. There's no need to argue with him. This project is yours anyway. Zhu Huichuan, let me tell you clearly, I want Xian to take your place and personally pave the way for him. You just need to do your part. Next time you speak to me in an interrogative tone, you know the consequences. After warning me, Shen Zhinian pulled Xian out of the meeting room. Before leaving, Xian gave me a provocative look, as if telling me that no matter how hard I tried or how much I did, it would not be enough to match him just standing there. The path he is taking now is very similar to the path I took when I first arrived 3 years ago. It was my love for Shen Zhinian over the past 3 years that made her feel confident. I called out and left Shen Zhinian, holding on to the last bit of expectation, and asked, Boss Shen, what are the consequences? Chapter 25. How do you want me to accompany you? I comforted myself that as long as Shen Zhinian didn't mention stopping my mother's medication, I would definitely be able to stay for the remaining 16 days without any worries. For myself and Shen Zhinian, I want to put an end to these 3 years. But the result was not satisfactory. She knew me well enough and knew exactly where the knife would hurt the most. What do you think? Your mother's Acarensai injection costs millions per shot. With you, you can't even keep your mother alive. Lies don't hurt, the truth is the sharpest knife. Shen Zhinian's words were harsh, but they held my lifeline tightly. My family is my bottom line, and I will never allow anyone to touch it. I understand, Mr. Shen. I 1T crossed the line again. My tone was calm, and the disturbances from the outside world were completely excluded by me, leaving only Shen Zhinian's cold gaze in my eyes. Perhaps it was because I was still calm, Shen Zhinian's brows were furrowed. Zhu Huichuan, can you be more promising? Shen Zhinian didn't give me a chance to answer and pulled Xian away. I returned to my workstation dejectedly and leaned back in my chair tiredly. I picked up the phone and after much hesitation I called the nurse who was taking care of my mother. When nursing worker, how is my mother? There was a rustling sound from the other end of the phone, and then it soon calmed down. It's still the same. You must never stop taking the medicine. Alas, Mr. Zhu, I have advised you many times that this disease has almost no chance of being cured. This injection is really too expensive. You really don't consider. I rubbed my temples and interrupted the nurse hastily. Over the years, Shen Zhinian had been providing the medicine, but I found the nurse myself. The nurse is serious and responsible, and she cares about me from the bottom of her heart. But I really can't give up my mother. Nurse Wen, stop saying things like that. I've said it before, as long as I'm alive, I won't let my mother die first. Take good care of my mother. I'll come over when I'm done with this busy period. After hanging up the phone, I unconsciously looked in the direction of Shen Zhinian's office. Under the dim light, the smiling faces of Shen Zhinian and Xian were revealed from inside the blinds. The two of them sat opposite each other, feeding each other the desserts that I ordered every day. I looked at the time and it was time to get off work, so I picked up my briefcase and planned to leave with the few things I had. Anyway, Shen Zhinian has Xian to accompany her, so she doesn't need me most of the time. It's rare to feel relaxed, but I always feel uncomfortable. I got on the elevator with my briefcase, and a second before the elevator door closed, Shen Zhinian suddenly rushed in. It was a small elevator with only her and I in it. I really want to ask why she didn't leave with Xian today, but I can't find a suitable identity. At this time, Shen Zhinian took the initiative to speak. Zhu Huichuan, come with me to Chenjing Villa today. Xiaowen has other things to do today, so go and stay with me for a day. I really don't like being treated as a substitute, as a spare tire that can be kicked away at any time. But through the reflection of the mirrored glass, I noticed that Shen Zhinian's mood did not seem to be high. There was no time to think whether it was because Xian didn't accompany her today. I didn't find any reason to refuse, so I simply agreed. No problem, Mr. Shen, how do you want me to accompany you? Is it to sleep, or just to talk to someone? Shen Zhinian didn't look back at me, but rolled his eyes in disdain. What do you think? Do you have any other role besides sleeping with me? Chapter 26. You should be grateful, understand? I took a deep breath and resisted the urge to ask Shen Zhinian back. No matter how useless I am, I still know more than that good-for-nothing pretty boy Xian. Yes, I'll sleep with you if you want. I'm used to it. Chenjing Villa, a place I have been to countless times. But in fact, I have never entered the master bedroom and always acted in the guest bedroom. The bed in the guest bedroom is the battlefield, and the floor is the base. No matter how hard you fight, you still have to return to the base in the end. In the past 3 years, Shen Zhinian and I have had sex so many times that I can't count them on my hands, but I have never slept in bed with him. I thought it would be the same no matter who came, but when I stepped through the door again I realized something was wrong. The pair of men's slippers were placed next to the bed in the master bedroom. Boss Shen, you and Xian. I uttered a doubtful sentence subconsciously. The environment here was too familiar, so I let my guard down for a moment. Shen Zhinian looked around and found the pair of men's slippers. Oh, that's Xiaowen's. He's in the master bedroom with me. Why do you have a problem with that? Shen Zhinian didn't care about it at all, and didn't take my feelings to heart. She was the first to step into the second bedroom, then went into the bathroom and started taking a shower. The transparent glass door of the bathroom reflected her slender waist. Before, I couldn't help but take a few more glances. But this time, I actually felt an inexplicable sense of disgust in my heart. My steps towards the second bedroom paused and my eyes fell in the direction of the master bedroom. A strong curiosity drove me into this room that I had never stepped into before. The bed was in disarray, and I could even see what kind of intense scene had taken place here. Shen Zhinian, I haven't been able to enter the room for 3 years, and I have been sleeping on the floor for so long. I muttered to myself, not noticing when Shen Zhinian appeared behind me. Zhu Huaichuan, what are you doing? My thoughts were pulled back and I shuddered unconsciously. An inexplicable sense of guilt enveloped me, and I subconsciously retreated out of the room. Without waiting for me to move, Shen Zhinian took the initiative to come up to me and put one arm around my neck. Let me see if your skills have deteriorated. As we were talking, Shen Zhinian started to grope me all over. Her pretty face turned slightly red, and the atmosphere in the room became ambiguous. If it were before, I would definitely not be able to help but pounce on her, feel the hard-earned tenderness, and immerse myself in the entanglement with her. But this time, looking at the messy sheets, I lost interest at all and felt more like completing the task step by step. Boss Shen, are you so anxious? My sudden doubt interrupted Shen Zhinian's actions. She frowned and looked at me, her face showing displeasure. What do you mean, Zhu Huaichuan, don't ruin the atmosphere, okay? Shen Zhinian didn't give up and forcefully pushed me down on the bed. The moment I touched the messy sheets, I stood up reflexively. The strong resistance made it impossible for me to calm down. The continuous interruptions finally annoyed Shen Zhinian. Zhu Huaichuan, did I give you face? I am still willing to favor you now, you should be grateful, understand? The words are rough but the truth is, considering Shen Zhinian's current situation, it is unprecedented for him to bring me into the master bedroom. But the premise of all this is that Xian cannot come today because of something. Understood, I'll go take a shower first, Mr. Shen. I picked up Shen Zhinian by the waist and put her aside. Then a man went into the bathroom, turned on the shower, and leaned against the wall, exhausted. I couldn't get over this hurdle. The messy bed sheets were like a thorn, piercing my heart. When I finished taking a shower and came out, I was surprised to find that Shen Zhinian was no longer here. Chapter 27, Don't teach others to be kind without experiencing their suffering. I searched around several rooms, but couldn't find Shen Zhinian. I had no choice but to call her. Where are you, Mr. Shen? This is a misunderstanding. I just can't get used to it for a while. There was a brief silence on the other end of the phone, and then Xian's voice was heard. Secretary Zhu, there is nothing for you to do here anymore, just go do what you need to do. I'm done with my work, and I'll be back to Chenjing Villa with Mr. Shen soon. Be sensible and don't disturb our world of two. Drops of water dripped from my wet hair and accidentally fell on my cheek. My nose felt sore and I felt extremely humiliated. Without any hesitation, I hung up the phone, picked up my clothes and left this sad place. On the viaduct, the car speed once reached 180 miles per hour. Adrenaline surged and the strong wind blew across my cheeks, but it couldn't take away the bad mood. I ended up being a substitute. When Shen Zhinian left in a hurry to find Xian without even saying hello, I should have realized that the distance between me and this woman was unmeasurable. I hadn't had a drink with friends for several years, so I called my good brother Xiao Zhu. Come to the bar and have a drink with me. Xiao Zhu confirmed several times before accepting the call, which was from Zhu Huaichuan. You're crazy Zhu Huaichuan, you're not accompanying your CEO Shen anymore, and you're asking me out for a drink. The last time I drank alcohol was a few years ago, I think. I laughed at myself. With Xian's presence, I was no longer Shen Zhinian's first choice. They were having a great night at Chenjing Villa and had no time to care about me. I haven't relaxed in so many years, and there are still 16 days left. Can't I indulge myself for once? Stop talking nonsense and hurry up. Soon, I appeared at the door of the bar. Xiao Ju arrived shortly afterwards, looked me up and down, still unable to believe this fact. Are you serious, Zhu Huichuan? Are you serious about drinking this wine? You won't be called away by your boss Shen before it even starts. I nodded, and couldn't help but punch him. Don't worry, I took the initiative to ask you out, even if Shen Zhinian calls me, I won't leave. Besides, it's not my Mr. Shen. Xiao Ju and I were high school classmates and have known each other for more than 10 years. When I was a naughty boy and was fighting with others, he was the only one who was brainless. He carried a group of people forward and fought side by side with the two of me. Although he didn't escape a beating in the end, he established an unbreakable brotherhood. Later we fought back and vowed never to be bullied in this life, no matter who came. But the world changes, things and people are no longer the same. I became a plaything for Shen Zhinian to use at will. He was also constrained by life. Although he could make money, the pressure doubled and he became addicted to drinking to drown his sorrows. He could tell at a glance that something was wrong with me and stared at me with a half smile. Did you have a fight with Shen Zhinian? I'm not saying anything bad about you, but she treated you well. When it comes to girls, we should be more generous and be tolerant when necessary. I talked to Xiao Ju about everything, and I had no plans to hide from him. Don't advise others to be good without experiencing their suffering. What if she has someone new now and is being affectionate with me right under my nose all day long? If it were you, would you still be able to tolerate it? After hearing what I said, Xiao Ju was stunned for more than a minute. His impression of Shen Zhinian and I is still at the stage where we were inseparable. Okay, drink and don't think too much about it. Chapter 28. Sorry, I won't do it next time. Xiao Ju and I walked into the bar I hadn't visited for a long time. Colorful lights were flashing, men and women were swaying in the booths, and they were living a life of luxury. I chose a corner to sit down and drank silently. Seeing my state, Xiao Ju quickly snatched the glass and was shocked. You haven't drunk for a few years, you are stupid, how can you drink like this? I didn't have time to deal with him and was only thinking about numbing myself with alcohol. Xiao Ju had no other choice but to stop him. Zhu Huichuan, you are not the kind of person who would allow yourself to fall into depravity like this. Shen Zhinian found a new one, have you ever thought about snatching her back? I laughed at myself and shook my head helplessly. The only bond between Shen Zhinian and me is that contract. Originally, I always thought that we had feelings for each other, but as I gradually came to my senses, I realized that feelings cannot be used to make a living. I have thought about it, but I can't do it. She can't even be considered to have fallen in love with someone else. I just realized now that she doesn't love me. My eyes were wet and I picked up the wine glass in front of me and drank it all. Sometimes, being awake is worse than being asleep. If I were a little more confused, I might still have some illusions about Shen Zhinian. Expectations over and over again, only to be met with disappointments over and over again. Xiao Ju didn't know how to comfort me, so he patted my shoulder, sighed, took out a cigarette from his pocket and handed it to me. In recent years, accompanying clients and drinking has become a normal part of my life, but I haven't touched cigarettes for a long time. Being drunk, I took it without hesitation. Who are Z? You seem to be doing well. As I said that, I lowered my head and lit the cigarette. The last time I smoked was a few years ago. I felt dizzy after taking one puff. Due to the influence of alcohol, I almost fell headfirst onto the booth. In a daze, Shen Zhinian's figure suddenly appeared. So you can smoke. I thought I was dreaming, so I snorted and ignored him, and continued bragging. Xiao Ju, when I was taken away by Shen Zhinian in the club, I really thought I would be with her for the rest of my life. I never expected that Xian could defeat me completely. Knowing that she didn't like the smell of cigarettes, it only took me one night to get her off. Love is indeed the most intoxicating thing. As we spoke, I dimly watched Shen Zhinian getting closer and closer until I closed my eyes. When I woke up again, the environment around me was so familiar yet unfamiliar that I couldn't tell the difference between dreams and reality for a moment. The decoration here is so similar to that of the master bedroom in Chenjing Villa. I remember that I was drinking with Xiao Ju, so why did I wake up here? Xiao Ju, is this your home? Why does it look so similar to Shen Zhinian's? I shouted, but it was Shen Zhinian who walked in from the door. When our eyes met, I was stunned. You? Mr. Shen. I stood up reflexively, looking at Shen Zhinian's indifferent face, and then I realized that the scene in the bar was not a dream. I felt inexplicably nervous, just like an employee slacking off during work hours. Shen Zhinian just looked at me, and we were speechless. I was really not used to this feeling, so I was the first to break the silence. Boss Shen, I'm really sorry. I won't do it again next time. My apology was met with Shen Zhinian's disdain. The corner of her mouth twitched, and she shook her head helplessly. Ju Huichuan, why are you so scared? Don't smoke in front of me next time. You can do whatever you want with the rest. Shen Zhinian finished speaking and retreated, shutting the door heavily with a muffled sound. The room returned to darkness, and it was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. I narrowed my eyes and looked at the shadow that appeared through the crack in the door. Shen Zhinian did not leave. She leaned against the door, not knowing what she was thinking about. After a long time, she turned around and left. Boss Shen, what exactly do you want to do? Chapter 29. Find a way to leave her. 15 days left. I was caught drinking yesterday, and Shen Zhinian didn't look for me the whole day at the company today. There wasn't even an eye contact, and we both tacitly agreed not to bring it up again. What I didn't expect was that Xian was also left alone at his workstation for the entire day. When he got off work, he took the initiative to find Shen Zhinian. He had only been in the office for a few minutes when he came out in despair, packed up his things and left. I looked towards the CEO's office and happened to meet Shen Zhinian's eyes. She waved at me and motioned me to come in. I felt like I was facing a formidable enemy. Before I went in, I kept wondering why she was looking for me. But when I actually stood in front of her, the nervousness suddenly disappeared. Ju Huichuan, come with me and have a drink with the client later. Don't you like drinking and smoking? I hope I can keep each other company. I realized later why Shen Zhinian let Xian leave first. How could she bear to let Xian put on a smiling face in such an occasion where she was accompanying clients? I understand, Mr. Shen. I had no reason to refuse, so I could only agree reluctantly. I don't like drinking or smoking, and my edges have been smoothed out by working in the business world. As long as the client likes it, I don't have to be Ju Huichuan. When I arrived at the club that was so familiar to me, I once again became the one who smiled. The other boss was a heavy smoker, and the whole box was filled with the smell of tobacco, making it painful even to open one's eyes. Shen Zhinian used the excuse to go to the bathroom. She was never used to the smell. I held on, toasting with the other boss, and even had to accept a cigar worth tens of thousands from him. Of course, Xiao Ju. Normally, not many people can handle this. These cigars are for you. As long as I am happy, cooperation is not a problem. After being intoxicated for 2 hours, I was already drunk and unconscious. Shen Zhinian went to see off the other boss, and I was left alone in the box. It wasn't until the waiter woke me up that I realized the place was empty. Sir, we're closing soon. In my current state, there is no way I can go back alone. Shen Zhinian was still the same as usual, and just threw me aside after using me. In desperation, I called Georgia. He quickly rushed over, dragged me into the car, and scolded me. What are you doing, Lao Ju, drinking so much again? Next time you drink, ask me to accompany you. Don't try to be tough alone. I sighed deeply and leaned against the car window looking at the hustle and bustle of the city. The city is big, but I can't find a place for myself. I am accompanying a client today. Shen Zhinian left first. Hearing this, Xiaoju was silent for a moment, holding back everything he wanted to say. He thought I was drinking alone again. After all, when he came, I was the only one lying alone in the corner of the box. I hesitated for a moment and asked him out of curiosity. Did you contact Shen Zhinian that day? She usually doesn't care where I am. Besides, she was supposed to be with the pretty boy that day. Xiaoju nodded without hiding anything, but his wandering gaze still betrayed him. I always felt that this kid had something to hide, so I simply pressed him. If you have something to say, just say it. If you have something to fart, just fart. There's no need to hide anything between us. Xiaoju slammed on the brakes and stopped the car on the side of the road. He leaned on the steering wheel, stared at me seriously, and thought for a long time before speaking slowly. Old Jew, find a way to leave Shen Zhinian. Chapter 30. Come and see my mother. I don't understand why, even though leaving Shen Zhinian is an inevitable trend. But I shouldn't have heard these words from Xiao Ju. He had previously said that Shen Zhinian was a good woman and asked me to be more considerate of her. Seeing the doubt in my mind, Xiao Ju was in a dilemma for a moment. Do you want to hear the truth? I nodded, yeah. Well, it was indeed me who contacted Shen Zhinian that day, and I thought that there was no misunderstanding that could not be solved. As a brother, of course I am thinking about you. It's just Shen Zhinian agreed to come because that pretty boy wasn't he here. Xiao Ju said with a long sigh. Alas, Shen Zhinian's original words were that Xian was not here anyway. I could come over, but at most I could just bring it back to him. Brothers should advise reconciliation rather than separation. If they do advise separation, then you should consider whether there is any unspeakable hidden cause. I laughed at myself, covered my face and told myself to wake up. Everyone understands the truth, but when it really happens to you, who can remain alone? Every bit of those 3 years really happened, and every scene has left a deep imprint in my heart. The 15-day countdown is just a consolation I give to myself. Got it, you go back, I'll be alone for a while. I pushed the door, got out of the car, and squatted on the side of the road. I don't like to show my vulnerable side, especially in front of my brothers. Xiao Ju waited for me for a long time. Seeing that I had no intention of getting back in the car, he gave me a meaningful look and then left. The cold wind howled and hit my face painfully. But it couldn't overcome the pain in my heart, and I finally parted ways with Shen Zhinian. I don't know how I forced myself to go back. I only know that when I woke up it was already noon the next day. My phone was silent, and there was no message from me. Seeing that today was the weekend, I hesitated for a moment and took the initiative to call Shen Zhinian. I want to go back and see my mom, is that okay? There was a brief silence on the other end of the phone, and Shen Zhinian's cold voice came. I'll only give you half a day, go and come back quickly. Mr. Wu's project, Xiaoan still needs your help as his deputy. I let out a long sigh of relief, not knowing if I had gotten used to Shen Zhinian's behavior. I didn't say anything, just said I would be back as soon as possible. I changed the 15-day countdown on the calendar to 14 days, calmed myself down, and rushed towards the hospital. Fortunately, I performed well in the past 2 years, and Shen Zhinian arranged a high-end ward for my mother. Seeing the nurse again, she was shocked. Mr. Ju. Is it really you? I haven't seen you here for a long time. I felt guilty and thought about how to please Shen Zhinian every day. He said it was for his mother, but he hasn't visited her for such a long time. Well, come see my mom. The nurse sighed and blamed me for coming at an unfortunate time. Mr. Ju, it's time for Auntie's injection today, and it will be in the afternoon. Go wait in the ward. Remember to keep an eye on the time next time. It's not easy to come here. I could tell that the nurse wanted to say something, but because of his status, he couldn't say more. There is only one day like this every month, and I managed to catch it. I've neglected my mom, and coupled with all the stress and energy these past few days, I feel exhausted both physically and mentally. I actually fell asleep while standing, leaning against the wall outside the sterile injection room. Until a female voice sounded, and I suddenly woke up. Hello, I'd like to ask how to get to the senior ward. There doesn't seem to be a nurse here. Chapter 31. The doctor is not right. I opened my eyes hazily, and felt as if I had fallen into an ice cellar. It's not because of anything else, it's just because the woman in front of me is so beautiful. She has long black hair, delicate facial features with a little makeup, and a light-colored long skirt that outlines her perfect figure. A pair of big watery eyes blinked at me, slightly puzzled but cute and eccentric. She is obviously a goddess with a cool and elegant temperament, but she gives people the illusion that she is approachable. I was so fascinated by her that I didn't even notice what she was saying. Hello? Are you listening? The woman's words brought me back to my senses. I belatedly pointed to the side. Oh, over there. The woman thanked me, smiled and turned away. I was impressed by it at first sight. People are always impressed by beautiful women, and I am no exception. The door of the sterile injection room was pushed open. I didn't take the conversation with the woman seriously and rushed in. Seeing me suddenly appear, the doctor was instantly panicked. What are you doing? Are you a patient's family member? Don't you know that people are not allowed in here? The doctor gave me a good lecture. It was the first time he had seen such an ignorant family member of a patient. I apologized over and over again, claiming that I was too impatient. It was the nurse who came over and rescued me. Mr. Ju, I understand that you haven't been here for so many days and you are eager to see your mother. But that's a sterile injection room. If you walk in, you'll lose the $200,000. Although I know you are financially strong, your money didn't come from the wind, and you don't want to cause trouble to the doctors. I lowered my head in shame, too embarrassed to make excuses for myself. My mother has been ill for such a long time, and I didn't even know such a small thing. In the ward, nurse when finally stopped mumbling. Okay, pay attention next time. I'm leaving now. The ward became quiet. I looked at my mother lying on the bed, her eyes were red and her nose was sore due to a grieved feeling. Mom, I'm sorry for all these years. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing out, and I couldn't wipe them away. I was afraid that my mother would see my sad face when she woke up, so I hurried out of the ward and tried to calm myself. Normally, no matter what happens, I can suppress my emotions in an instant. But this time, no matter what I said, I couldn't calm down, and my heart felt like it was being stabbed by a knife. Through the glass window of the ward door, I saw my mother wake up and stare around in confusion. I saw it with my own eyes and felt pain in my heart. I let out a long sigh, pushed the door open and walked in. Mom, I'm here to see you. When our eyes met, my mother's eyes were dull. After several minutes, she came back to her senses. Wai Chuan. My nose felt sore and I nodded, holding back my tears. I tried hard to calm down my emotions, but they exploded again because of what my mother said. It's me, Mom. Wai Chuan is here to see you. People of the older generation always like to hide their suffering deep in their hearts and swallow any grievances they have. My mother looked at me with a smile, and her old, rough hands gently placed on my face. Her eyelids were twitching, red blood vessels gradually occupied the whites of her eyes, and my face in front of her gradually became blurred. It's good that you're here, it's good that you're here. Mom is fine. If you are busy, go ahead and do it. Don't let her hold you back. I couldn't hold it back any longer and tears welled up in my eyes. Mom, what are you talking about? It's all your fault that your son hasn't been back for a while and has ignored you. Don't worry, Mom. I'll be back with you soon. Very soon. My mother giggled, and the little old lady's eyes narrowed into slits. No need, Mom. I'm just looking forward to the day when you become successful and can live a good life. Are you unhappy lately? Talk to Mom. Chapter 32. The bracelet must be kept. My mom knows me too well, even though I tried my best not to show any sign of abnormality. Wai Chuan, you are a good kid in every way, but you don't like to show your vulnerable side. Even as a mother, you feel embarrassed. Tell me about it. I don't know how many times I'll hear you say it. I hung my head, grabbed my mother's hand, and said with tears in my eyes, don't talk nonsense, Mom. You will live a long life. I will have plenty of opportunities to tell you in the future. My mother raised her hand and touched my head, still maintaining that kind smile. Okay, then tell Mom what's going on. In fact, I have been hiding it from my mother. I don't want the old lady to think too much. After all, I am an excellent student of Tsinghua University and my mother's pride. How could I fall to the point of serving drinks in a club? The impact was so great that I never mentioned it to my mother. In my mother's eyes, Shen Zhinian is just an ordinary female CEO. I had a crush on her and worked hard under her. The little old lady didn't know how expensive a shot of Akalenker injection was. She only knew that her son gave everything for her and relied on his own ability. Actually, it's nothing, Mom, it's just that Shen Zhinian has someone new by her side. But we weren't in a relationship to begin with. She was my boss, and we saw each other every day. I just wasn't used to it. My mother nodded thoughtfully and made a gesture to stand up. Her condition didn't allow her to make big movements, so I quickly held her up. What are you doing, Mom? The doctor told you to rest. My mother waved her hand and pointed to a drawer not far away, then go and take out the bracelet. Because of my mother's illness, our whole family has been drained of money. I didn't expect that my mother still had a bracelet. I was relieved at once, thinking that fortunately my mother had left a way out. When I left Shen Zhinian, there was at least a glimmer of hope. I opened the drawer and took out the jade bracelet. After taking a closer look, he frowned and said, Mom, this bracelet. My mother smiled calmly. It's not worth much. It was given to me by your father. It can be regarded as a token of love. Mom wants to tell you, if you really like someone, then go after them. Our family is burdened by mom, but you still have your own life. Don't be bound by family. I know my mother is thinking about me, but it hurts to hear her say this. It has never been mom who is a burden to this family. No, mom. I have to take care of you first before I talk about that. This bracelet is of great significance. I will keep it for you, regardless of whether it is valuable or not. Although the bracelet is made of jade, unlike those high-quality products, it does not have the smooth and shiny texture that jade should have. Instead, it is dull and full of flaws. The value of some things themselves far exceeds the added value. Value is added by people. In my eyes, this bracelet is priceless. Okay, mom will listen to you. I took a long breath and sat back next to my mother. Mom, why don't you tell me the story about your relationship with dad? My dad is the same in my mom's heart as Shen Zhinian is in my heart, and I don't want to mention him. My mother never mentioned it on her own initiative over the years. I didn't have any hope at first, I was just curious about what happened between them. But my mother, who always kept silent, nodded for the first time this time. Your father, well, to use your current words, is a scumbag. Chapter 33. Sorry, I'm late. I leaned on the bed and looked at my mother expectantly. I finally had the opportunity to get to know the man, and I became very interested. But before my mother could continue speaking, my cell phone rang. Seeing that it was Shen Zhinian calling, I had no choice but to pick up the call. Boss Shen, what's the matter? Shen Zhinian on the other end of the phone had a cold tone and was in a bad mood. Look at what time it is. When will you be back? I glanced at the time and realized it was already past 5 in the afternoon. Shen Zhinian only gave me half a day, plus the journey back. It was time for me to leave. I looked embarrassed and escaped from my mother's sight. I'm sorry, Mr. Shen, can you give me a little more time? I promise. Before he finished speaking, Shen Zhinian's roar came from the other end of the phone. No. Xiaoan needs your help. How can we carry out the work without you, the deputy? Stop talking nonsense, I want to see you in half an hour. I was just about to explain that even if I set out now, half an hour would not be enough to get back. Sadly, all that was left on the other end of the line was the sound of a hung-up call. My heart sank to the bottom, and I looked at my mother with embarrassment. Mom, I'm too busy with work now. When I come next time, you can tell me about Dad. I'm going back first, Mom. Take care of yourself and don't worry about the money. If anything happens, just find a nurse and take care of your sick mom. My mother smiled and nodded, waving her hand for me to leave. Go ahead, Mom is fine. When we arrived outside the ward, I asked the nurse to take good care of my mother. The nurse gave me a blank look, which was obviously different from usual. Don't worry, Auntie, I will take care of you. As for you, please come more often when you have time. I hear Auntie talking about you all day long. She even knows that you wet the bed when you were 7 years old, but I haven't seen you come once. I felt even more guilty, and I also understood that the care worker was thinking about my mother from the bottom of his heart. Got it. I'll come over when I'm not busy. On the way back, I felt mixed emotions. I really couldn't understand why my life was such a mess, and why Shen Zhinian didn't even give me a chance to take a good look at my mother. This kind of life living under someone else's roof is almost suffocating me. But even though I complained, the moment I walked into the company's door, I regained my usual calm. As I opened the door of the president's office, the first thing I said was an apology. I'm sorry, Mr. Shen, I'm back late. It took me only 35 minutes to get back from a journey that should have taken nearly an hour. But what he got in return was still Shen Zhinian's disdain. You can't even do the most basic punctuality. Zhu Huaichuan, don't forget what I saw in you before. Go to the conference room and help Xiao and perfect the plan. Mr. Wu, there can be no mistakes in this project. After calming down, I went to the meeting room. Xian and several shareholders gathered together, looking anxiously at the business plan in their hands. Do you understand or not? At this rate, Mr. Wu's project won't be able to move forward at all. That's right, call Secretary Zhu here quickly, otherwise all of us will be blamed. As soon as I entered the door, I heard the shareholders around me scolding Xian. They usually give face to Xian because of Shen Zhinian. Now that the project progress has been delayed and their own interests are at stake, no one will continue to indulge him. It just so happened that Xian had problems because he was usually favored by Shen Zhinian. It was clearly his fault, but as the project leader he acted like a loser and even talked back. You are talking nonsense, Zhu Weichuan is nothing. Even without him, I can still carry out the project smoothly, understand? Chapter 34 Interests first. Really? Then shouldn't I be here? I walked closer slowly and looked in Xian's direction with confusion. Several shareholders around me breathed a sigh of relief. My presence undoubtedly gave them a reassurance. Everyone knows that I am the one who is in charge of Wu Lui's project, and Xian is just a clown who is trying to steal the credit. Stop it, Secretary Zhu. This project won't work without you. That's right. Come and sit down, Secretary Zhu. If the project is not completed, we will all be blamed. Xian rolled his eyes, still stubborn. No need for him. I just don't believe it. It's just a project. If Zhu Weichuan can do it, I, Xian, can do it too. The huge profits brought by the project have made the entire company attach great importance to it. We are not afraid of the rich second generation squandering, but we are afraid of them starting their own business. It makes sense for Xian to intervene in the project. If he had no ambition and just followed Shen Zhinian like a dog, everything would go smoothly. But if he has his own ideas and insists on showing off, he will cry. The shareholders had no way to express their grievances, and due to Shen Zhinian's pressure, they could only wait for Xian's arrangements. An hour passed and Xian still couldn't explain what was going on. Shen Zhinian entered the meeting room at this time, looked around, and his eyes fell on the tired shareholders. Where is your enthusiasm for work? If things keep going like this, when will Mr. Wu's project be finished? I told you that the plan must be completed tonight. Don't you understand? In his words, Shen Zhinian did not mean to blame Xian at all. Instead, they pointed all the blame at me. Zhu Weichuan, as a deputy, have you played your Zhu role? I sighed softly, feeling extremely helpless for a moment. I came here to help, but some people refused my help. I'm sorry, Mr. Shen, I want to help, but Xian thinks he can do it alone. Hearing this, Shen Zhinian immediately became angry. Don't give me that. Since Xiaoan has his own ideas, why don't you cooperate with him? If you protect your own child to a certain extent, it will really ruin everyone's good impression of you. As a secretary, I naturally couldn't say much, but there were company shareholders present, and I soon couldn't stand it anymore. Boss Shen, Boss Wu's project is extremely important, you should at least send someone capable. That's right. Xian is totally incapable of leadership. No matter how hard we try, it will be useless. It's fine if you don't have the ability, but you're also stubborn and refuse to accept help. When the project fails, no one will get anything. Everyone knew that Xian was Shen Zhinian's man, and everyone had already given him enough face. But with interests at stake, who would care about these things? Shen Zhinian was annoyed by what she said. The company did not belong to her alone, and it required everyone's joint efforts. Can't blame anyone else too much, it's just me. Zhu Weichuan, I'll give you 1 hour to complete the plan and hand it in. Xiaoan, come out with me. You don't have to suffer here. Xian had a sad face and quickly threw himself into Shen Zhinian's arms, fearing that he would be a step too late. The faces of the shareholders around were livid and they all hung their heads in dejection. Alas, if this continues, the company will be in trouble sooner or later. You said Mr. Shen, too. What did Secretary Zhu lack of Xian for protecting such a waste? Stop talking, you don't want to do this anymore. I am not so stupid as to think that these people are on the same front with me. If Xian wasn't so stupid and didn't let their interests be harmed, no one would choose to stand on my side. They don't think I am capable, they just think Xian is useless. Chapter 35 Don't you just want money? Everyone, please stop talking and let's just look at the plan. With me on board, completing the plan is just a matter of a few words. 10 minutes is enough. After solving the problem with the plan, I quickly turned back and went to the president's office. At this time, Xian was still dejected, leaning on Shen Zhinian's shoulder, and the woman comforted him patiently. Seeing me come in, Shen Zhinian even made a shushing gesture to me. Put your things on the table, and get out if you have nothing else to do. Close the door. The project proposal is urgent, Wu Lue needs it tonight. But Shen Zhinian spent his time comforting that loser Xian, which naturally caused everyone's dissatisfaction. I finally perfected the plan and felt that the project could be moved forward. I saw that the bonus was in sight, but the president did nothing. People in the company gradually left, but the dim lights in the president's office remained on. At this time, Wu Luei called my mobile phone. Xiaoju, do you still want to cooperate? Why didn't Mr. Shen answer the phone? I told you I want the proposal tonight, and this is your attitude. I subconsciously looked towards the office and found that Shen Zhinian and Xian were still in that posture. In desperation, I had to apologize to Wu Luei first. I'm sorry, Mr. Wu, Mr. Shen is still busy with the project, and we take it very seriously. In this case, I'll ask Mr. Shen to call back immediately. Wu Luei was so angry that I felt like the cooked duck was about to fly away. This time, I ignored their lovey-dovey behavior and pushed open the door of the president's office. Before I could open my mouth, I was greeted by Shen Zhinian scolding, "Zhu Huichuan, you are so bold that you didn't even knock when you entered my office. Who gave you the authority to come and go in my office at will?" My face was stern, and I suppressed my anger. "Boss Shen, Boss Wu asked you to call back." Shen Zhinian realized it later and found that there were more than 10 missed calls on her phone, all from Wu Luei. She waved her hand to signal Xian to go out first, then went back. "Boss Wu, to make amends, how about I let Zhu Huichuan stay with you for a night? Don't get me wrong. I asked him to take the plan with him and explain it to you at the same time. Putting the project on the bed will definitely achieve twice the result with half the effort." Shen Zhinian pushed me out again, and without thinking. After hanging up the phone, Shen Zhinian snorted coldly. "Hey, this old woman, I don't know what she's thinking about, but she's still urging me to do the project. I think she's just thinking about men. Did you hear me? Go and spend a night with her and explain the project to her. I have no choice but to do so, and I have no reason to refuse." Before leaving, Shen Zhinian waved her hand to stop me, and when our eyes met, her eyes narrowed into slits. "How is your mother's health now? Is the acalensal injection effective?" My heart skipped a beat and I couldn't help laughing at myself. "You don't even want to give me a little time, but now you pretend to care about me. To put it bluntly, they are just afraid that I won't take my work seriously, so they threaten me under the guise of concern. I'm not a fool. Can't I hear it if I say it in a different way? Fortunately, acalensal injection has no disadvantages except that it is expensive." Shen Zhinian nodded in satisfaction, took out a wad of cash from the drawer, and threw it on the desk. "Buy some supplements for your mother, and take care of Xiao and a little more. You just want money, don't you? I don't want to see Xiao and sad anymore, understand?" Chapter 36, No Romance at All. Looking at the stack of cash on the table, I had to swallow any grievances I had. "I need money, at least before I leave." "I understand, Mr. Shen." I didn't have the nerve to refuse, so I took the cash and left the office. After I left, Shen Zhinian became extremely confident, thinking that he could tie me down with just a few tricks. Sure enough, a slap and a candy, you will never escape from my palm. On the way to Wu Luei's residence, I leaned in the back seat of the taxi, exhausted both physically and mentally. The money was hot to handle, but I had to take it. The city scenery kept flashing by and the car stopped steadily at the intersection. I looked around aimlessly and suddenly saw a familiar figure on the central billboard. Sumu Shue. My thoughts were brought back to the hospital corridor. The girl who came to ask for directions turned out to be the popular actress Sumu Shue. No wonder she is so beautiful. I, who don't care about the film and television industry, missed the opportunity to talk to the big star. The driver saw me staring at the billboard in a daze and joked with a smile. "Isn't it beautiful? Forget it. It has nothing to do with ordinary people like us. She is a movie queen and a popular actress. There is a huge gap between us and her." I sighed softly, but I didn't have any desire to covet the other person. I just recalled it suddenly, and instantly understood what it meant to be in love at first sight. It is true that beauty and excellence together is a knockout punch, which is very impressive. I didn't talk to the driver and didn't take it to heart. Just treat it as a simple chance encounter. If there is a next time, I will definitely get an autographed photo. I heard that a signed photo of Sumu Shue can be sold for tens of thousands of dollars. When I arrived at Wu Luei's residence, I was suddenly pulled in before I could even knock on the door. In the dark room, Wu Luei was so close to me that even her breathing was very obvious. After several experiences, I no longer find it disgusting to have contact with her, but I am definitely not willing to do it. Mr. Wu, I'm here to discuss the project. The lights in the room came on again. Wu Lue was wearing a silk nightgown, with a large area of her snow-white skin exposed. She was holding a red wine glass in her hand, and her cheeks were slightly flushed. She went back to the sofa and sat down, giving me a disdainful look. It's boring. You don't understand romance at all. It's not that I don't understand romance, it's just that there are some romances that require me to act dumb when necessary. Wu Lue poured me a glass of red wine and raised her eyebrows slightly, signaling me to drink it. I always felt that there was something fishy going on here, and was afraid that I would lose my virginity after drinking, so I made an excuse to change the subject. Mr. Wu, let's talk about the project first. I'm afraid I'm drunk and my mind is not clear. The project is more important. Boys must protect themselves when they go out. Seeing this, Wu Lue lost her initial interest. Her quirks in bed could indeed not be used under any circumstances that required coercion. You are so boring, Zhu Huaichuan. I was thinking of getting you. This project is nothing to me. Instead of being on guard against me, why don't you spend the whole night with me? The project will be just a matter of my words by then, will you consider it? I had a vague feeling that something bad was happening, and the feeling Wu Lue gave me was gradually changing. Ever since I gave in, I thought she would no longer be interested in me. But no matter how you look at it now, she has never given up the idea of conquering me in bed. I have always been passive and submissive, but with Wu Lue, I have to take action to protect myself. This is not good, Mr. Wu. We agreed on this at the beginning. Chapter 37. Get out of here. Wu Lue's cheeks were slightly red and she stared at me with hazy eyes. What did you agree on? It's just a 10% profit. What if I return it to you? Zhu Huaichuan, do you think I'm short of that little money? I was in a dilemma. If I didn't agree to her, I wouldn't be able to complete the project, but if I agreed, I would probably throw up the food I had eaten the previous night. When I was hesitating, Shen Zhinian called me and helped me out. How's the project going? Are you happy to accompany Mr. Wu? I deliberately turned on the speakerphone and played Shen Zhinian's words to Wu Lue. Wu Lue, who was still interested, suddenly darkened her face after hearing Shen Zhinian's voice. The two of them don't actually get along, it's just superficial. Apart from the transfer of interests, it is not an exaggeration to say that the two are mortal enemies. I'm happy, Mr. Shen. Do you still need to call me at this time of night to disturb others' mood? Don't you already have Xian, that pretty boy? Why are you still holding on to Zhu Huaichuan? You can't have it all. As soon as these words came out, Shen Zhinian on the other end of the phone also got angry. You think too much, Mr. Wu. Zhu Huaichuan is just my leftover. Who would care? Sorry to bother you, please continue. I feel uncomfortable hearing this, let alone Wu Lue. She is no worse than Shen Zhinian. It is obvious that the other party came to ask for cooperation, but she still has to suffer such grievances. Wu Lue was very angry and looked at the plan on the table with great rage. Get out. Get out with the plan. I see that your CEO Shen has never thought about cooperation, so I think there is no need to continue. And Zhu Huaichuan, I have a piece of advice for you, leave this stupid woman as soon as possible. I could see that Wu Lue was really angry and had no reason to stay any longer. Cooperation is not something I can decide, and breaking up is not my intention. Fortunately, I will leave the company in 15 days, so the profit and loss have little to do with me and I don't have to worry about it anymore. After saying goodbye to Wu Lue, I returned to the company. After hearing that the other side gave up cooperation, Shen Zhinian was furious. Zhu Huaichuan, you are loser. Everyone has worked so hard for so long, Xiaowen has worked so hard for so long. In the end, you didn't make Mr. Wu happy, and the cooperation fell through. Are you worthy of everyone? Shen Zhinian's voice was very loud. Although it was past the end of get-off-work time, there were still many people staying in the company. Her words reached other people's ears, and then spread to 10 people and 100 people, and finally, the blame was inexplicably put on me. My brows were furrowed, my hands were unconsciously clenched, and my body couldn't stop shivering. Mr. Wu is unwilling to cooperate because of your words about being left over. What does that have to do with me? In a hurry, I couldn't help but ask back harshly. Perhaps because the countdown is getting closer, I am gradually becoming braver. Coupled with Shen Zhinian's recent indifference to me, my mentality has changed and I no longer have any illusions about her. If it weren't for my mother's constraints, I really wanted to leave. If it were before, I would never do such an impulsive thing. Boss Shen, that's not what I meant. Shen Zhinian's face turned completely cold, and the atmosphere around him dropped to freezing point. Her words reached other ears, and so did my words. We had a complete falling out, and even the most basic decency was gone. Zhu Huichuan, I really see through you. Once a dog has learned to bite its master, there is no need for it to continue to exist. Chapter 38. Deliberately irritating me. I know very well that I was too impulsive, but I have been holding back on grievances for so long, and who can resist exploding? Shen Zhinian cursed me over and over again, belittling me to the point of being worthless. I lowered my head and listened, trying to block it out as much as possible, but the harm was real. Until Shen Zhinian got tired of scolding me, she put her hands on her hips and pointed at my nose, giving me an ultimatum. President Wu, find a way to get your cooperation back, otherwise you don't have to stay here. Also, I think you need to stop taking your fucking Akerensai injection. My heart was broken, and all the resentment sank deep in my heart. When I mentioned my mother, all my sharpness was instantly put away, and I looked at Shen Zhinian pleadingly. I'm sorry, Mr. Shen. I will definitely find a way to redeem the cooperation. Can the injections be continued? Shen Zhinian looked down at me, holding my fate tightly in his hands. She knows very well that my mother is my weak spot, and as long as she mentions this, I will obey her no matter what. It depends on your performance. The entire company was empty and I stared blankly at the computer screen. The clock ticked and soon it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't find any flaws in the plan. The only variable lies in Wulue. I was backed into a desperate situation and couldn't think of any other solution except to climb into that woman's bed. I fell asleep on my desk and didn't wake me up until the next morning when Xian woke me up. He looked at me provocatively, a malicious smile on his lips. That's great, Zhu Huichuan. With your own efforts, you have ruined Mr. Wu's cooperation. No wonder Mr. Shen always scolds you like that. If it were me, I would want to punch you. The resentful looks from my colleagues around me were totally unexpected. I suppressed my anger, ignored Xian, and pulled myself together to look at the computer screen again. I frowned slightly and looked at Jujujia's email. After opening it, I found that it contained a barrage of questions from my colleagues, mixed with an edited recording. It was the clip where Shen Zhinian loudly scolded me last night. What's wrong, Zhu Huichuan? It's normal for people to have opinions about you. You've delayed the bonuses of many people. This project is very profitable. You screwed up, and this is what you have to pay for it. The repeated injustices gradually broke down my psychological defenses. I stared at Xian with a sinister look, causing him to subconsciously take a step back. What are you doing, Zhu Huichuan? I'm warning you, this is a company, don't mess around. Boss Shen will be here soon. If you dare to touch me, you know the consequences. Anger gradually took over my rationality, and my fists were clenched so tightly that they made a creaking sound. In my opinion, this edited recording was made by Xian. I'm also warning you, don't play these dirty tricks in front of me here. Don't take advantage of Mr. Shen's partiality towards you and act recklessly. Xian sneered, lowered his voice, moved closer to me, and whispered provocatively in my ear. So what? Mr. Shen is partial to me, and I'm afraid of you. I stood up suddenly and raised my hand as if to hit Xian in the face. When I was just a hair's breadth away, I stopped. The only remaining sanity I had told me was that Xian was deliberately trying to provoke me, and if I really took action, I would be falling into his trap. If I touch him, my mom's Achilles injection will be gone. Xian swallowed his saliva and looked at the fist that was so close to him, but he still didn't give up. Come on, fight me if you dare. I want to see if you, Zhu Huichuan, have what it takes. Chapter 39, Encountering a Strange Woman. I gasped for breath, imagining punching Xian until he was left with a broken teeth. But I also knew clearly that all this was a script written for me by Xian. I couldn't just sit there and wait for death and jump into the pit. Before I could retract my action, Shen Zhinian's shouting came from the other side. Zhu Huichuan, are you crazy? Let Xiaoan go. Shen Zhinian didn't hesitate at all, he stepped forward and slapped me in the face. The pain brought my thoughts back completely and made me sober. Xian's expression changed in an instant, he pouted in grievance, his face looked as if he was in shock and had not recovered. Boss Shen, you have to stand up for me. Ju Huichuan wants to do something to me. It's fine that he messed up the cooperation with Mr. Wu, but he also instigated infighting. He has the intention to be caught. With so many colleagues watching him, his expression changed faster than turning the pages of a book. But no one cares about these things at this moment. Compared to Xian, I am the culprit who caused them to lose their bonus. They didn't care about the truth, they just wanted me dead. Get out. Ju Huichuan, get out. You are not welcome here. I had no way of saying anything, so I could only hold onto the last glimmer of hope and clarify, I didn't touch him, I just. Shen Zhinian didn't give me this chance and interrupted me harshly before I could finish. Stop talking nonsense, don't think I didn't see it. The way you're doing it, it's obvious that you want to take action. I've already told you before, if I find out that you're secretly targeting Xiaoan, get out of my company. Everyone is laughing at me, making me feel ashamed. The last 14 days have been much harder than I imagined. I covered my face and left the company like a stray dog. The sky was covered with dark clouds and a sparse drizzle fell at an inopportune time, soaking my body and shattering my last bit of hope. When it comes to Shen Zhinian, I am already dead in the face of this matter. Every bit of happy memories was slapped away in public by Shen Zhinian. The love I once had turned into hatred. She personally pulled me out of the darkness of the club, and then personally pushed me deeper into it. A feeling of powerlessness surrounded me. I sat dejectedly on the roadside in the rain, lost my way. An umbrella suddenly appeared above my head, shielding me from the wind and rain. You'll catch a cold if you keep doing this. Cheer up. There's nothing you can't overcome. I looked up at the girl holding the umbrella. The gray sky mixed with rain covered her face, so I couldn't see her face clearly. Thank you. I murmured in reply, no longer holding out any hope for the inexplicable kindness of this world. Shen Zhinian was so kind-hearted at first, but in the end he was ruthlessly abandoned by me. I could have endured the darkness if I had never seen the light. You're welcome. What's your name? Why aren't you going home? Did you break up or get fired? The woman sat down next to me and looked at me curiously. Our eyes met, and my pupils dilated instantly. She looked young, probably in her early 20s. She wore black framed glasses and had thick bangs that covered her forehead, but that couldn't hide her cute and eccentric temperament. Although her facial features are very delicate, she seems to be deliberately making herself ugly and disguising herself. She was wearing a raincoat with yellow duck cartoon images all over it and holding an umbrella, which was unnecessary. Hey, are you listening? Why are you staring at me? Is there something on my face?